Speed Gaming 2 Final Fantasy Randomizer is back just before the start of our 2019 Spring Tournament. We'll get to all those details real soon. My name is Will Cleosis, and I am joined by my partner, the Game Changers. Together we are them. It's the Enforcer, Falconic FF.
One half of Team Vorpal here in the commentary booth with you. Co-op partner in crime here as well, Will Cleosis. Good to join you here. We have Dangwoo tracking tonight. Dangwoo, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty good. I can't wait to see what's going to happen.
All right, so Will, tonight we have a little bit of a showcase as to what we can expect to see starting April 6th. It looks like it's the return of the spring tournament. What can you tell us?
Whole bunch of things going on. We'll go through it, during the matches, but special design for the 2019 spring tournament. It's based upon really two main factors. Number one, Town Shuffle, Falconic. We played a practice the other day. Me and you were messing around a little bit, having some fun, and we had that game where we had no heal potions at the beginning of the game, and that was quite fun. Remember when we played that? And a free canal. The idea is that we're going to move the floater, and it could be essentially anywhere in the world. We're trying to make this very fun, a little bit more competitive, a little bit longer than what we had last year as well. Mm-hmm. We've got ArsonHorse on the left-hand side of your screen, Tyerenex on the right-hand side of your screen. Two pretty good players in Falconic. ArsonHorse last year, he made the final four.
ArsonHorse.
18 spring tournament.
We call him the dark horse around here. He just destroyed new players and veterans alike last year, tore through the bracket round, got into, I think, the top 4 if I'm not mistaken. Made it pretty far. Tyerenex also very, very strong player. Somebody who is not afraid to do double fighter, and it looks like tonight he's doing just that. We have the red mage forced and the white mage banned, so you better hope Cure 4, Exit, Fade, you better hope you see those early. And like you said, Will, with the towns being shuffled, there's a very good chance that that's going to throw this entire seed upside down, because if you don't find towns early, like a Provoca, like a Elfland, even Provoca, Elfland, if you don't find a Melman sometimes with level 5, that could really hurt you. If all you have is available is level 7, level 6, level 8, stuff like that, these mages aren't going to be doing anything.
No, even when you want Melmond almost, that starts to tell you something a little bit. Speaking of telling you something about these two players, they've never really played before. They've crossed paths a few times. They've crossed paths twice, actually. The most recent one, I want to tell you fans a little bit about that. It was back in October during our league. There was some 40 players in the match. Tyerenex finished 3rd. 1 hour, 14 minutes, 3 seconds. Just behind him, his opponent tonight, ArsonHorse, 1 hour, 14 minutes, 19 seconds. So it was a whole 16 seconds that separated them, so they've never really duked it out before. We're going to see that right now on Speed Gaming 2, Falconic.
This one should be interesting. ArsonHorse, I know, has a very, very strong... Tyerenex is very good at making adjustments mid-game, so it's going to really depend, again, on how friendly do the towns lay out. How strong is the magic early going? Because right now, just looking at the different layouts, ArsonHorse has the advantage on spells if those towns are friendly. If they're not, Tyerenex is going to get a huge start with 2 fighters. So if he finds anything good in weapons or just armor for being meat shields, he's going to be able to really carry that early game. Probably Dan, one of the, either the red mage or the black mage, depending on where that magic lies. But Tyerenex, I think, if the towns shuffle badly, I think Tyerenex has an advantage here.
Tyerenex and his double fighter strategy versus ArsonHorse and his double red mage strategy. We are off directly to Canaria. Canaria's never shuffled. It's always going to be Canaria. Straight to the black magic shop for Tyerenex. Lightning 2. Okay.
Cure 4. Quake, though. Quake, not exactly the best spell in the game, but early, I'll take it. With the magic defense on the early enemies, that's a screen clearer.
Cure 4, one of the sought-after white magic spells. Can't learn it right now. That is class changed lock to a red wizard. It will be available later on. Spells like that, Life 2, Lamp. We're going to find out exactly how those can affect our players. ArsonHorse picking up a couple rapiers for the trip. And Iron Hammers for Tyerenex. Similar type of strategy from both players going on as we near the 1 minute mark.
Yeah, this really favors Tyerenex as well. He's going to have 3 characters swinging the rapiers, but it looks like he only equips 2 of them. No, actually, ArsonHorse has as well. I forgot about the extra red mage. So it looks like we've got relatively cheap houses. Cabins are within the 100-200 range. We don't have money for that yet. ArsonHorse looks like he's going to go out and try to take a fight or two to get some money, maybe a level or two.
Yeah, this is a veteran move right here from ArsonHorse on the left-hand side of your screen. He's doing two things right now. He's going to get to level 2 off these imps. He's going to find out some information, and he's going to check out the encounter table. He's going to gather information. Meanwhile, Tyerenex is off. He's already in the Temple of Fiends.
He is. We found out that imps have poison. Not too big of a deal here, but ghouls have bracken. Just like that, Tyerenex is down his fighter already, and he does not have a soft yet to bring him up.
Gets 1,000 gold, 1,000 and change. Right behind him is ArsonHorse. Let's see, he's going to get back-to-back quick encounters if he hard resets. Fires uses one of his lightning 2s, but he's got 2 casters of that. There's the Excalibur.
Excalibur right off the bat. Can't use it just yet, but I guarantee you he holds on to it.
Definitely will. Tyerenex runs into a ghoul, gets away very quickly, rearranges his party. He's got 3 warriors. He's going to take on Garland. ArsonHorse is going to pick up his Excalibur and his bit of gold.
With Light 2 here, I would have liked to have seen a Quake, because those Light 2s just aren't really getting the job done, even though he got a pretty good roll off of Mono there. But it looks like he'll have enough Light 2s to get the job done. Wow, this Garland is beefy today.
It took Tyerenex a couple of shots to take him down. He gets to level 2. ArsonHorse is right around that area. ArsonHorse has 2 stoned Light Warriors. We'll take a look at that in just a second. Meanwhile, the Canaria hands over the chime, and that's Oxiel from Princess Sarah.
Now that's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, you're not really going to be able to do much with either of those just yet. I mean, you could find Onrak in one of the towns here. Look at the left-hand side of your screen.
He's in trouble. He's gone. He's perished.
Well, that's what happens when you go into Temple of Fiends without any soft potions. I didn't catch the price, or even if they were available.
600.
ArsonHorse 600 is way out of the range right now. So ArsonHorse takes a wipe. Still plenty of time to catch that up. Tyerenex, though, making really, really great strides. He's doing a little bit of shopping. And is he going to go left? Would you go left, or would you make your way right and try to find out what Provoca has?
Let's see, we picked up the Chime and the Oxiel. Those are 2 items that usually you get something you can use in the Intercontinent early. The odds are kind of in that favor. We don't have that. I'm looking for money, and I'm looking for spells. I'm doing what Tyerenex is doing right now. I'm going to head to the Matoya's Cave, and I want to know what's in Provoca.
Now, granted, if he does find something like Onrak where he can eventually put the Oxiel to use, you really don't want to go into Onrak or into the Sea Shrine this early. It'll be nice knowledge to have, but I think he's really hoping for something big here from Matoya's Cave. And a little bit of money is what he's looking for.
A heal pot. Oh, not much. He's going to reset. I like this play.
I like it as well. I mean, it is money, and money early is good, but you're racing. You got to go. Look at that. Light 2's coming off from ArsonHorse as well. A Quake could have gotten that done in one single turn, and it looks like nobody chose to go that route.
ArsonHorse has rescued Princess Sarah. He's going to pick up his Chime and his Oxiel. Meanwhile, Tyerenex had explored Matoya. There's about 2,000 gold total. He's headed towards the shuffled towns. He's headed towards the original Provoca. Is it Onrak, where he could use that Oxiel this low of a level? Is it, Melmond? Is it Elfland? Is it Lefane? Let's find out.
Crescent Lake. Okay, so free item here, and you said the game does kind of try to give you what you need in the Inner Sea here, but this could be something, again, off the wall that we can't use just yet. Maybe it's a slab, which is great if we find Melman, but right now we've got the free canal, we have no ship, and we have no idea where Melman's at.
Tyerenex finds chain armor fairly early in the game. Obviously, we're at the 5-minute mark. That's going to be very equipable for Tyerenex to 3 of his light warriors.
Yeah, not bad absorb at all. And silver swords, but those were also available over in Canaria, so nothing too big. He is going to purchase a few long swords, though.
He's armoring up. I like this play from Tyerenex. He's expecting potential disaster. He's preparing for it. A potential marsh cave dive could be coming. Let's see if we can see some level 6 magic for the future. That was Ruse. That's a Red Wizard learnable. And nothing. Light 3, yeah, I think?
Light 3 for the Black Mage, but that's out of a slot that even the Red Wizard can learn.
Mm-hmm.
And here we've got Edgeworth and his friends doing yoga in the park. What are you hoping for here? A ship? Some sort of transportation, maybe?
Ship, yeah.
A ship, I would think, just so you can at least get down to Elfland without having to make the walk all the way around by Northwest Castle.
I want to find out really quick. It is the ship.
Okay.
We expected this. Now, here's where the design for the 2019 Spring Tournament really starts to take effect. Tyerenex can do a whole ton of things, Falconic. He can go over to the original Crescent Lake. He can go to the original Elfland. He can go up to the original Onrak. So many things that he can do. What do you do and why is kind of the theme. It's sail the high seas. That's the theme. That's the story that we're doing for the tournament.
This is going to be, I think, right now, this is going to be one of the biggest forks in the road that you're going to see in this upcoming tournament, because one of the incentivized locations is Marsh Cave, right? But when towns are shuffled like they are here and you don't have access to early magic, do you really want to be diving Marsh Cave at level 4 with just swords and a little bit of armor? No, probably not. Can you remember, like some people seem to have a hard time doing, myself, that free canal is on and a ship gets you access to pretty much the rest of the world? So you're going to see a lot of runners making that choice as to, do I want to head out and visit the Crescent Lake areas, or if you have, well, actually you can take the boat up to on-rack location, or do you do that Marsh Cave dive?
ArsonHorse has really closed the gap. He's actually right behind Tyerenex right now. Tyerenex went to the original Elfland and he found that on-rack, Falconic. Those are alarm bells going off in my head if I'm one of these two players right now, because I've got that Oxyale in hand.
And that's, I mean, it's not bad, but how far can you really make a dive in there? Maybe you get lucky with the light 2s that you have and take a couple fights at just at the beginning area. I mean, that's a strategy, I guess.
Right, maybe like the unrunnable Sahag fight, maybe get some levels to try to gain some traction. Doesn't look like Tyerenex is interested in that. Looks like he's headed towards the Dwarf Cave area. Meanwhile, ArsonHorse is retracing Tyerenex. He's going to find out the news of Onrak being located in the original Elfland.
Dwarf Cave, not a bad check, but it's only 2 chests right now. What?
How about a loose item? How about the bottle? 2 loose items in this design. Mostly, generally, almost always going to be required. What not will be required is going to be sought after: a ribbon and a tail. That's one of them right now. That's the bottle. We got 1 of 2, and it's fairly free. Yeah,
so a good check, right? But it still really doesn't do Tyerenex all that much good. It looks like ArsonHorse is going to follow up. No, he's actually going out. He's leaving the inner town, or the inner sea, and he's going to check out and see what's location. We're going to find out if this is Provoca
this
or
is Gaia.
Elfland.
Gaia. Tyerenex has that ball. This is Gaia. It is not. It's Lefane.
It's Lefane.
Yeah. If I'm Tyerenex right now, I'm digging for Gaia. I'm going to the original Melmond, Crescent Lake, and Onrak immediately, because I have no magic. I don't have Provoca like you want, and we would certainly all want as well, and I want to get that item, and I'm going to hope it's a rock.
Yeah, I mean, you do kind of want to chase down those key items and see if you can't get lucky, because right now all they're missing is to be able to start sailing, or to get into the skies here, because we have access to the outside sea. There's a dock at the bottom of the Rayakon Desert, so once we have that, we're up in the air flying. So I agree, Tyerenex really needs to go hunting now and figure out where that town's going to be, and how is he going to kind of convert that into another key item.
You know, we talked about it in the pregame, Falconic. These two players have not really played at all. They've crossed paths, kind of, sort of. Look at them right now. The previous match, they were 16 seconds apart. Right now, they're holding hands.
So my question here is, let's say that this is, I don't know, Melmond. Do you take your boat south and hit up the original Onrak and try to find out if maybe that's Provoca or Gaia?
If I'm Tyerenex, I do. Immediately. Absolutely. If I am ArsonHorse, and if I find Melmond here, I'll gather the information. I want to check the armor shop. I want to know where gold bracelets are, and I want to know where pro rings are. As soon as I possibly can, I want to find the information level 5 magic. I immediately hit the reset button. And, you know, what can we do with the Lightning 2 spell? Early Earth? Can we do Marsh?
With that, well, by the way, we found Elfland at Crescent Lake, but I still hold on to the fact, oh, there's Fade level 3. So this is going to turn the tide for ArsonHorse pretty well, because now he's going to have 2 Fades and a Light 2 going off. I would be hightailing it back over to the Sea Shrine, and I would maybe try to gain just a couple of levels there, because those, if you were to get yourself like a Naga and Water fight, and you clear it off with Fades and Light 2s, you're going to gain some crucial levels.
I thought Fade was in the 4th slot. Did we catch that? Dengwu was our tracker tonight. Dengwu, did you catch that? We'll find out.
If it's 4th slot, then it is locked out.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh. Well, Light 2 is still not that bad. Fire 3 pickup at level 4. Looks like an Ice 2 at level 4. I also saw Brag. And level 4 is loaded. Life 2. Wall. Was that Exit?
I missed it. I was with Dengwu behind the scenes trying to find the location of Fade.
Yep, it is 4th slot. We have ETAP in chat helping us out there. Heal 3, Harm, Cure 2, Fade in the 4th slot.
Okay. White Mage was banned. Falconic did the banning. That Light Warrior is walking the plank here in this particular match for the 2019 Spring Tournament in an exhibition, an example of what it is, and that White Mage could have came in useful, it looks like.
Oh, White Mage would have stolen the show here tonight. Now, what they're really hoping for is Provoca, level 2, Nuke. They really want to see Nuke at level 2, because otherwise, I think Tyerenex has the huge advantage having that second Knight.
ArsonHorse equips his armor. Great menuing from ArsonHorse, showing how he made it to the little things of how he made it to the Final Four last year. Really out of nowhere, Falconic. I mean, we call ArsonHorse the OD, the original Duckling.
He is. He's a Duckling that I don't ever want to face, that's for sure. Tyerenex seems to have found a pretty friendly fight off of the power reset here and is using it to his advantage. It is some Peds. Those are some great levels early.
We've gained the information from the level 4 White Magic. Exit is locked out. It's in the original Harm slot. But we have Warp already for Black Magic in level 3. And Life 2 in the first slot. Red Mage. Learnable.
That's huge. That's really, really huge. That's going to help ArsonHorse out quite a bit. But even with Tyerenex having the one Red Mage being forced, to have Life 2 like that, now the Knight's not going to get it, but to at least have one character that can have Life 2 is pretty good advantage here. ArsonHorse doesn't look like he's fishing the encounter table to find that fight. Tyerenex did, and because of that, he's got a few extra levels here. So I like Tyerenex's strategy going forward, and there's a 4-Ped fight, and he's taking it.
Couple of light 2s, maybe a quad X afterwards, maybe your fighters gang up. I think this is very doable for Tyerenex. Let's see how hard the Peds hit as both players are leaving the original Crescent Lake area. This is going to give ArsonHorse a little bit of a lead. He's headed towards on-rack.
Navigation. He'll have, well, if you're going on-rack, it'd be faster to go south. But it looks like he is making the way that he knows, making his way up the left-hand side. Tyerenex, though, I think with those levels, that's going to serve him really, really well. If he wanted to, he can go back over to Marsh Cave now. Without any fear, I think. I think he could easily take out Marsh Cave. "13.5 minutes in here. Tyerenex looks to be working on a plan. I think he's making his way back to the Inner Sea, although I'm not sure. There, he spotted some land. Yeah, we're curving back up around Northwest Castle. Looks like he's going back inside.
He's not going to... You know, if he was going to go towards the Marsh Cave, I would think maybe the southern port to Elfland. Looks like he's just going to go ahead and take the north port. I think he's going your plan. He does not check the on-rack area. ArsonHorse is. He did not check the Dwarf Cave, and it's measly 2 little chests, which held the bottle, one of our two key loose items.
Yeah, and that's huge. Tyerenex making that choice, and it's one I wouldn't have done, because you don't have any of the other key items. Really hate to kind of double dip.
It's Gaia.
Is it Gaia? Okay, so had he done that, he could have put 2 and 2 together, but Tyerenex has the bottle, ArsonHorse has the location of the bottle turn in. Doesn't really help either of them out too much just yet, but looks like we have our answer as to why Tyerenex went to the Inner Sea, kind of. Maybe he forgot to do a little bit of shopping. He stopped over in Canaria.
He wants supplies. He knows where some of the supplies are, it looks like. We'd like to remind you fans that it is the day that 2019 Spring Tournament starts. April 6th. It's a Saturday. Sign-ups are open until April 4th, but got about 2 more weeks left. We decided to push it back just a little bit. Some more players asked they wanted to join. They wanted to do some practice. We got a lot of FFR going on, a lot of other organizations and games going on and competitions. We wanted to give them certainly their time to go ahead and finish up what it is that they're doing and get through a lot of their content until the 2019 Spring Tournament starts up. And ArsonHorse is lost because he needs to go way west to get through here.
Yeah, he's not going the best route, but he did pick up a little bit of information there while you were telling us about the Spring Tournament coming up. We now know what our vendor item is. It's over in Gaia, and it is the loot. Now, I didn't quite catch how much it was. I think I saw it just shy of 20k. So that's going to be something that we'll pick up later for sure. And it looks like Tyerenex is taking those levels.
Yeah, our tracker Dengwu is telling us 17,000 gold.
Nice. So Tyerenex, with the levels that he got from farming the Peds outside of Crescent Lake, has made his way to one of our incentivized locations. And you talked about it. Maybe that bottle pickup over in Dwarf, you would maybe hunt for Gaia and turn that in. This is also a strong play. There's a very strong chance that the game is going to land the floater here. Now he's going to check the northern side first, pick up a few chests, which is not bad. You're still looking for weapons, still looking for armor. But I like this play.
Yeah, where this gets really interesting is if Tyerenex digs out the canoe, or something that leads to the canoe. If he gets the adamant, which happens to lead to the canoe, with a crystal, something along those fetch quest chain odds. Because once you get that canoe, that opens up so much. Castle Ordeal, Waterfall, Volcano, Ice Cave, and then, once again, the spring tournament of 2019, the design shines even more.
Yeah, absolutely. The canoe opens up the 2 other incentivized locations, okay, which nobody likes doing. But more importantly, you have your boat. The canoe would gain you access, like you said, to Castle Ordeals, and that one's not so bad. It can be, but I will do that any day over Ice Cave. So you're really just hunting for the floater at this point. I think Tyerenex has, at this point, I think he has the advantage.
If ArsonHorse heads to Dwarf Cave, because he's right there, he is not going to go there. If he would have headed to Dwarf Cave here and dug out the bottle, I would have given him to ArsonHorse. But right now, I think it's progression. I do like Tyerenex's position at this point in time. And Falconic, you talked about it. You want Provoca. You're a Provoca kind of guy. We're not going to see that anytime soon. It might be an hour until we see level 2 magic, because that's been shuffled. That's in the original Gaia or Lefane entrance.
Yeah, easily. So until you're up in the air, you're not going to be spotting level 2. There's a loose tail. So Tyerenex has already found 2 loose items. And that's the bottle over in Dwarf Cave, the tail down here in the Marsh Cave. Now, as soon as he's in the air, you got to imagine he's straight to do a class change.
Well, that's 2 of them. We're not even at the 20-minute mark, and we've got both of our loose items, so we're not going to see that type of quirk.
Right.
Like we had last week in the match between Wukliosis and Shofukamachi of that big hunt. So we're not going to see that quirk, but what we are going to see is the canoe for Tyerenex, and things just got interesting.
So there you go. That opens up the 2 other incentivized locations we've already talked about. I think you agree with me here. Maybe the Castle Ordeals is the play. Maybe you do ice. And a ribbon for Tyerenex.
Well, what a play from Tyerenex. He gets, he's getting through here really well. He gets a second loose item in the tail. He can make decisions now. He's got a ribbon and he's got the canoe. Tyerenex advantage.
Huge. And I didn't see if he was able to pick up Life 2 on the Red Mage, but if he didn't, I'm sure he'll go back, slap the ribbon on the Red Mage. Red Mage has Life 2. You got plenty of early levels from the Peds. Tyerenex is just on fire right now.
ArsonHorse is going to the Dwarf Cave. Based upon the way he was walking, he's going to head that way. He went up and checked Matoya in the 3 chests. He's backtracking a little bit. Routing adjustments is what it looks like. He's going to pick up his bottle. Potential advantage, ArsonHorse. He knows where Gaia is.
Yeah, ArsonHorse really needs Gaia to produce the floater, right? If it gives him anything else like the rod, I guess the crown wouldn't be so bad. He really is hoping for the floater, though. Otherwise, I'm still giving this one to Tyerenex right now.
Yeah, and kind of lost in the shuffle there, the excitement of finding these loose items. Look at ArsonHorse stare at his screen. Look at him. What am I going to do? Am I going to go all the way back to the original Onrak? He is.
Yeah, you can
he
hear
is
that
where he's going. Yeah.
Do I want to go all the way back over there for that one gamble?
He more than likely will do that. I'm not sure exactly what he's doing right now.
What is Tyerenex up to?
Either he's saving, or he's headed... Yeah, he's just saving. But lost in the shuffle of digging out that bottle, the Dragon Armor was right there, too. Both players using the fighter with a very accessible tail, potentially into a knight, as their lead light warrior.
Yeah, maybe we'll actually get to see some Opal armor get put to use here on Tyerenex's side now that he has 2 fighters. The Dragon armor, clear, far and away the best armor in the game. Opal, not so bad, though. Very, very good absorb. We'll see if he doesn't pick that up and slap him on, or is he going to go the route of danning a character? So far, both runners have all 4 alive. That's very strange with these flags.
ArsonHorse does not go to the original Onrak in its shuffled Gaia location. He's following in Tyerenex's footsteps.
I like
He's going to find the loaded Marsh Cave?
Now, here's the problem. ArsonHorse is coming in here with far fewer levels than Tyerenex did. Tyerenex had characters over 200 health when he entered here. ArsonHorse is dancing around 120.
It's those ghouls, they had that stone. ArsonHorse is able to get away. Looks like Tyerenex is headed south. He's headed towards the original Onrak. Ordeal is on the table here. 2 incentivized locations in this area. He has not seen the vendor item either. He's about to find it, though.
He's about to find it, correct. He's going to turn in that bottle, which is the play you said you would make, and I have no doubt that unless he picks up the floater from the ferry, he's going to be sailing straight east, and we're going to see Castle War Deals play.
I would think so. That would be my routing decision in this type of scenario. As ArsonHorse continues his dig of the marsh cave that holds a ribbon, the second loose item in the tail.
Zap and Rub at level 7. He doesn't even bother checking the white magic for level 7. There's pro rings for 4,000, pretty cheap.
Well, that's really cheap.
And did he just sell off the heel helmet?
I believe he did.
Okay.
Picks up 2 pro rings for it.
That's not a bad play. I didn't see how much the heel helmet sold for, but I mean, if it buys you 2 pro rings, I can't argue with that move at all. Oh, he's not going to check the item vendor.
Did not check the item shop. He's going to resurrect the second fighter.
He is.
And go back
what?
with the bottle?
Okay. Maybe he
just
realized,
wanted
okay.
That fighter is named Ty. It's named after himself, Tyerenex. It's quite possible that he just wanted to get him up and going.
Nothing more important than getting himself a... Does double back, finds the loot. That would have been a huge miss if he would have skipped past it. And now we're going to find out what the fairy has. And the fairy has... Oh, not what he wanted. The rod.
You called it. It's the rod. A tiny fairy hands over a rod. ArsonHorse digs out the second loose item of the tail. I think if that item from the fairy, Falconic, was not the rod, maybe something a little bit more useful, I would tend to stick with Tyerenex in the lead a little bit. Right now, I think we're pretty even, Steven. I'm talking 90 seconds, maybe somewhere in there at this point.
Yeah, I mean, routing for sure. I really think we can't undervalue the levels that Tyerenex chose to get outside Crescent Lake, though. And he proved us both wrong with a play that, in hindsight, is obvious as daylight. He's hitting up Waterfall. With Warp, this is a fantastic check. You're going to get a couple of chests here, but more importantly, you're going to get another key item.
Definitely going to get another key item. If he can get in and he can get out, I don't know, sometimes the Waterfall's like the mob. Okay, you can get in, but you can't get out. He does have Warp at his disposal. Weapons, though. Weapons are not the greatest for Tyerenex for this dive. I mean, I think he's still got rapiers and longswords.
Yeah, this is a Waterfall that I think you're going to see a lot. But, again, Tyrenex's levels, they're pretty good. I mean, really, the only thing he's missing, you said it just a couple seconds ago, weapons. He just has nothing to swing at this point.
Tyerenex saves with a house, the one house that he bought. That's why he went back to Canaria, to get a house for a play like this, and he dives in. Good walk to start off the Waterfall for Tyerenex. He runs into some mummies. New enemy encounters. He's going to take the fight?
He does have Fire 3, but then again, that's a little suspect because you still have to walk all the way over, and you know you've got the trap tile in front of the rope. More mummies, more than likely.
Good news was that they were runnable. Tyerenex takes them out, runs into some mud galls. He's going to run from this one, though.
Yeah. If he had better weapons, he probably takes that fight because it's decent XP, but again, the entire goal right now is to just find out what the robot's going to give you and what's in the chest.
ArsonHorse's dive of the marsh cave, even at lower levels, no problem. ArsonHorse made it look easy.
Yeah, paid off. Could have turned out badly, but it didn't. And ArsonHorse again proves why he's got the skills to easily catch up to Tyerenex. I would not be surprised in the slightest if he passes him up here in a little bit. But again, Tyerenex really making all the right moves right now.
Tyerenex makes it to the trap tile. He's going to take this fight as well. A couple of hacks from the fighters don't get it done. But a Fire 3. Tyerenex really making this look easy.
Takes out the cockatrices, no big deal whatsoever. That's actually a very, very good XP fight for him. I don't know that I would flirt with it too much. He's going to talk to the robot, and it's adamant. So that's another key item, but it takes us out of the way. Do we want to switch over to Castle of Ordeals? Do we want to now change course and go back to Dwarf Cave?
Oh, there it is. There it is. Oh, baby, Speed Gaming 2. The Vorpal, the game changer, has been located. Falconic, I'm so excited.
Oh, not only has the Vorpal been found, but what a party to be swinging it. 2 knights and a red mage. That's going to be put to use for sure.
I've got to think that Tyerenex is jumping up and down for joy in his upper Midwest home. right now finding the game changer that is huge for Tyerenex early in this match at the 26-minute mark.
All we need now is a floater to be able to use it. We found the tail loose in Marsh Cave. But again, what a party to have. Even if he finds the Sun Sword, even if he finds the Mazmoon, you found the Excalibur already. You've got plenty of characters to be swinging around. And Will, I know you agree with me. The Vorpal is absolutely a night weapon. Don't you dare put it on a Red Wizard, although the Red Wizard can use it. Better for a Mazmoon or a Sun Sword over there. Let the Knight really swing with all that might.
Couldn't agree more, Falconic. The Enforcer. Right here, as we near the 30-minute mark, Falconic FF, the Enforcer of Team Vorpal. My name is Will Cleosis. I am the Smooth Talker. Together, we are the Game Changers, joined by Dengwu. Recently graduated Duckland, been playing a ton lately, doing some damage, doing some winning too, Falconic. We better keep an eye on Dengwu behind the scenes. Thank you for joining us on Crew tonight right here on Speed Gaming. I'd like to thank Feasel, and certainly you, the fans. You're going to be getting a whole lot of this stuff coming up in the future, and it's going to be absolutely fantastic. Once again, signups are open until the 4th of April, about 2 weeks from right now. New players, older players are coming back. Players like us, Falconic's going to be a great mix.
I'm excited. I joined the community last year, days before the spring tournament. Didn't know a single soul in the community. Had only played maybe 1 or 2 randomized seeds, but grew up, of course, like most of us did, loving Final Fantasy I. Played it hundreds of times across many, many platforms. And didn't make it to the brackets. I did get to the play-in race, missed out by just 2 spots, and it was a heartbreaker. But had a blast the entire way through. Made a ton of friends. A ton of frenemies along the way as well. A couple people really don't want to because I never seem to get the good advantage against them. But
yeah, the play-in race was outstanding. It's the same sort of design, Swiss rounds with a play-in race. We'll get to that as we get closer to it in the 2019 tournament. And I remember that, Falconic. Remember we were up against each other, right next to each other on screen in that gigantic play-in race. And that was an absolute blast. Meanwhile, Tyerenex has made his way to Castle Ordeal. He's ran in some unrunnable Medusas. He's going to use a Lightning 2-shot to get rid of them. And he's making his way through the Pillar Maze. So we'll see what's in here. Incentivized location.
I like it. He's got life 2 to pick up the dead characters. The ribbon, if I saw that correctly, is on his red maid. Things are looking good. His levels look fantastic right now. So really, really hoping that he finds the floater here. If it's not here, ice caves on deck, I think. You could do armory, but then again, we've already found our 2 loose, so all you're going to get there is weapons and armor. So the floater's got to be here, or it's going to be one of the turn-ins, maybe the adamant.
ArsonHorse is headed toward... Not exactly sure. We'll keep an eye on ArsonHorse. Meanwhile, Tyerenex still trying to go through the Pillar Maze here. The Pillar Maze is shuffled, as is pretty norm, you know, in Final Fantasy Randomizer. We'll see a lot of that. The Town Shuffle has really gotten both of our players without access to Provoca. Still no level 2 magic. You gotta think both players are thinking in the back of their mind, oh my gosh, well, I want to see an Ice 3, a nuke, something along those lines as well.
Something big. Brack being found already is really good with 2 out of 4 of the Fiends here, but yeah, you're looking for a wave clear. Something a little bit more powerful than just a light 2 or a fire 3 sitting in the 4th level there.
Tyerenex using that warp spell, still trying to get through. He thinks that the Pillar Maze leads to the long one, the 4 out of 4 option. He's gone through basically everything else. Still swinging those long swords. This is another Lightning 2-shot. This is a little alarming.
Dengwu points out for us, though, that the enemies don't seem to be short of a wave clear. Caribes have Thunder. So the trip over to, if we have to make the trip via canoe over to the Ice Cave, is not going to be a friendly one.
ArsonHorse is going for levels. He's looking for the Pede fight. Tyerenex was able to find it fairly fast. I think he was in the encounter zone just to the right, maybe. I'm not exactly sure.
Yep, it was right outside the town. And unfortunately, I think it's just a little bit too late. He might have been just fishing for money there. Tyerenex, though, did find that sweet spot just outside, and those levels are paying dividends right now.
They are. As he gets away from the mummies, he's on the final floor. 8 chests, an incentivized option. We'll see what Tyerenex can dig out. Just past the 30-minute mark. I've got to think that ArsonHorse is setting up an Ice Cave play. Potentially. That's our last incentivized location.
It's a gamble for sure. He does have the canoe. He could make his way. There's the Aegis Seal, by the way. Could make his way over to Castle Ordeals. We're going to find out here in just a second what the item there is. We found the Opal Bracelet, the Thor Hammer, and the Aegis Shield here. Plus, we're about to get a key item. This is looking almost as rich as that Marsh Cave was.
Yeah, and you know what? If it's a ribbon, this is a very good dive. It's not very good progression-wise, but a ribbon is an incentivized item. If that's it, I've got to almost think that even though it wasn't required, it's a must-go potentially. But Tyerenex has got to get away from the mummies, and he does. Incentivized location. Dynamite find!
TNT. Now, he already has the adamant TNT on board. My next play before the Ice Cave would be the Dwarf Cave, right now. ArsonHorse making his way over to Elfland from the South Dock. That almost tells me he's going to gear up and probably make a play towards... No, he's skipping Elfland. Where is he going? No, okay, he's
Ordeal.
A little bit lost. Okay, he was getting his bearings. He's going to Ordeal. Normally, you see runners make a kind of a diagonal south, straight south and west, but he wanted to find his northern star there, so he can get his bearings. Now he's going to go south. He'll hit up.
We'd like to remind you fans that coming up in just about an hour over on Speed Gaming 4, The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker Randomizer. It's a one-on-one match. It's Trog against Joy Sparks, coming up 8 p.m. Eastern Time over on Speed Gaming 4.
It's another one of those games that it's fun to watch. I would never be good at it. I will stick with my Final Fantasies. Thank you, sir.
I will stick with definitely watching it as well and certainly enjoying it. As ArsonHorse, he's going to try to traverse the Castle Ordeals Pillar Maze. He's going to find out that it was kind of a pain. Tyerenex turns in the Adamant. He gets the cube. That's required. How about the Dynamite, TNT? How about the Dynamite, Falcon? What do you think?
Oh, I'm really hoping Floater. If it's not Floater, we're going to see Ice Cave. It's the Crown. Okay, we're here. Okay. We're close to the Crown. We're going to find out what that turn-in is. He's thinking. I think Tyerenex is taking notes. He's cussing out his screen. He's doing something.
As far as required items, we know where the loot is. It's the vendor item. The Mystic Key is going to be required later as well. A very sought-after item. We're going to turn in the Crown. Could that be a ribbon? Could that be a floater? How about a crystal? Maybe an herb? A lot of different things going on. That Ice Cave looms large. ArsonHorse did not go there.
So we got a question in chat from Doogie MacGyver, which is one of the greatest Twitch names I think I've ever seen.
Doogie MacGyver!
He asked, what's a good benchmark for levels? He's been grinding to 24 on eyes. Is that too much? And my answer to that would be that's a very, very, very safe play that you tend to make as you're learning the randomizer. One of the things you'll learn along the way, and you're going to see it on display here tonight, is to learn to take levels as you do other things. It's not bad to take a couple fights. I praised Tyerenex earlier for finding the Peds and picking up 3-4 levels, and then he promptly got out of there. You want to continue moving forward, and while it feels safe and convenient to kind of grind that eye and get yourself into unstoppable mode, you're going to guarantee you'll finish, but you're almost always going to guarantee that your opponent's going to finish before you.
Tyerenex is not turning in the Crown?
I don't know. He was right there.
So he needs supplies first, a house camping or two
equipment? Yeah. I think chat said he was out of camping equipment, so it's not bad. He went to where he knew he could buy that, and I would hope his next spot is to go straight over and find out what the Dark Elf.
Oh, the King.
The King.
Yeah, he lives in Northwest Castle. He's got some pets to fly around. The King. He's lost his crown, and Tyerenex is found. He's going to return the crown to the kindly King.
Yeah. And there's nothing suspect about him whatsoever.
No. Nothing. Tyerenex just spent 40,000 gold on camping equipment. He's got to be set for probably quite a while. Jumps in his ship, and as is the theme for the upcoming 2019 spring tournament, sailing the high seas.
Sailing the high seas. The White Mage had to walk the plank on this one.
Yeah.
It's a band class, and it is a slab. Okay, well, it looks like we are going to be taking that canoe.
It's the Ice Cave.
Making a trip over to the Ice Cave, and along the way, we have to do Thunder Caribes, Will.
Yeah, Thunder Rebase. What the information that we just got from Tyerenex is that having the slab in hand, we don't have access to Melmond at this point. Melmond and Provoca, there are airship locked. So that slab isn't going to lead to anything.
Nope.
We know where everything else leads to. that makes the ice cave the preferred destination. That's going to lead us to our floater. Given the fact that we know the 2 loose items,
Yep.
ice cave could yield us the crystal or the herb or some sort of whatever it is going to get us potentially to the air.
Yeah, Final Fantasy Randomizer it's a bit like an RPG version of Sudoku. Sometimes you know exactly where something is just by process of elimination. You've ruled out everything else. So it's one of those seeds where the runners, of course, are going to kick themselves and say, man, I should have gone there first. It was an incentivized location. What was I thinking? Checking all these different fetch quests. But, I mean, you never know, right? And you want to make the faster plays, and they did that. They did the Castle War deals. They did the bottle turn-in. They did the Adamant and TNT, and it just turns out that it's the last play.
ArsonHorse just perish?
I didn't see it if he did, but he's going back through.
I'm not sure what got ArsonHorse, Dengwu, if he saw what happens are... But he's going back, and he knows the path, at least for the Castle of Ordeal.
And Tyerenex lead grows, but it looks like he's heading toward... Nah, there he goes. He was heading towards Volcano for a second there.
Weapons. I think he thought about it. He got a weapons. I don't know what you're going to throw at some of these Ice Cave enemies. I mean, there's wizards in here. We haven't really quite seen those yet, and not much of them. Obviously, there's mages. And I mean, I don't know what you can hack them with. Maybe some harsh language? I don't think that's going to work.
I mean, it's possible. Having Warp, though, and knowing that the loose items are the other way, I would go straight in here, use the Warp trick, find out what the key item is. You know it's got to be the floater. Hightail it out of here and start getting into the air. I think Volcano is going to be the bigger density for getting your weapons. But to be able to get in the air and class change and equip the Vorpal, the Excalibur, the Dragon Armor we found, the Aegis we found, I think that's the better play at this time. Zara says Arson wiped to the mummies, and
mummies?
Look who he's fighting on his screen right now.
And Lightning 2's not going to quite take him out. The mummies rolled low. Actually, all the mummies rolled low. This second Lightning 2 is going to get him, though.
Oh,
there's the wizards.
In the ice cave.
There they are. They're starting to bash Tyerenex, really. They're pushing him around.
But again, look at the health pool of Tyerenex because of the grind that he did earlier. And Light 2 is definitely a spell to have to clear out a screen of wizards. Rolled a little low there.
Tyerenex gets away. We'll see if that's a potential sign. We don't know. We haven't seen these undead packs either. Here come the Wraiths or the Eye Mages. Looks like they're just going to attack and they can't hit anything.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it. The Ice Cave is typically one that most runners avoid. I mean, look, you saw it tonight. Both runners chose to avoid it until the last possible second. There's just such a large variety of enemies that you can find here, and when skills and spells are shuffled, and you never know what you're going to find, it kind of ingrains in your head that Ice Cave is horrible, so much so that sometimes you play a seed where it's not shuffled, and you're still scared of it.
Yeah, it's ingrained in you. ArsonHorse has picked up his dynamite find in the TNT. He gets his opal bracelet, Thor's hammer, Aegis shield, so he's starting to pick up that equipment that Tyerenex got a little bit ago as well to outfit his fighter, a potential knight in the future.
Now, I wonder here, ArsonHorse ran. I was just about to ask, I wonder if ArsonHorse takes a few of those Zombie D fights. That's a relatively decent XP grind. And for somebody in his position, it's the crystal. So the crystal's going to lead over to the floater. He really needs levels right now. I'm starting to say Arson's a little underleveled here. More
he
so
feels
than
behind.
Is over.
He feels behind.
He has to.
Yeah.
So we're looking at level 12 across the board for Tyerenex. Looking pretty good. About that time to... Well, he's going to turn in the airship. It's about that time, the 40-minute mark, Will. Is this about the time where you start to feel that if you don't have a fiend, at least in your sights, you're a little behind?
Not quite yet. I like to change the status quo. That's what it is that I call it. That's getting in the air. I want to get that as soon as possible and assess my situation. I want to get to that Provoca that you talked about earlier on. I want that level 2 magic, and I want to know what my options are for the end game magic-wise and go from there. So Fiends, not too worried about it, at least certainly at this point. I want to know where I stand through all the options that I'm going to have, both potentially and what I know I will have certainly in the future. And Tyerenex did something interesting.
What's that?
He grabbed the crystal, and he tucked tail, and he got the heck out of there.
Just get out, yeah.
And he got out because he knows there's 2 loose, and he found it. You know what that is, Falconic?
That's a veteran move, Will.
That's a veteran move, yes, sir.
Now, look at it this way, right? He's going to turn in the Crystal Floater. He has already the Vorpal, and he has the Excalibur, and if there was nothing else on the table, I would say that that covers him for weapons for the rest of the game. Armor, looking pretty good. He's got Dragon Armor, he's got Aegis, so at least one of the Knights. Obviously, the Vorpal Wielder is going to be well protected, well geared.
Yeah. He's got Fast as well. Fast on 2 of his mages. He's got Cure 4. He's got the Tail. Cure 4 is going to be an option as well.
Maybe if the Mazmoon is an ice and digs it out, maybe that helps him out, but Tyerenex's lead just continues to grow.
Yeah, he's extending it little by little, and it's no fault of his opponent ArsonHorse at this point. And I like I said, I think ArsonHorse feels a little bit like on the ropes. So we'll see what it is that he does. He went and turned in the crown after turning in the TNT and picked up the slab, but he's not going to be happy with that.
Nope. One of the hardest things to overcome is taking a white, right? Especially where he took it. He had already made his way. It's the ruby.
Oh, Sarda.
So Sarda's going to lead to it. So what a fetch quest here. Now, picking up all of his key items, Tyerenex at this point has clearly got to have the progressive XP locked down at this point. Yeah,
that was one of the things we haven't had a chance to talk about yet. 150% experience boost at 12 key items. Tyerenex is there, especially once he picks up his floater. But he's essentially there. He's really gathered all those items.
Yeah, this is, I think Tyerenex, it's his game to lose at this point. Now, we are still early in the match. We have not even sniffed Fiend Dungeon yet. But the levels look good. He's about to be in the air. He's going to have some really great equipment on a few of his characters. It's all about how he chooses to go from here. And ArsonHorse is one of the fastest runners to make kind of questionable, risky dives. And that's certainly going to be what he needs to do tonight to catch himself up.
And as far as enemies and nastiness, just what, the Thunder Rebays? Really?
So far. Yeah. I mean, we saw Heat Imps early, but I mean, they're out of your way in no time whatsoever. ArsonHorse back over at Gaia. Maybe he's making the safe move here. He's going to pick up some... No, he's going to maybe pick up the loot. Yeah, he realized if he would have bought the Pro Ring, he couldn't afford the loot. That's a smart play.
Maybe he's counting his key items and trying to get there. It looks like that might be what it is that he's doing. He's also getting a little bit of camping equipment as well. Oh, he's going to turn the bottle. He hasn't quite done that yet. He knew where Gaia was. Might be kicking himself. He's going to get the good news that it's the rod.
So he's going to pick up the rod from a tiny fairy. Tyerenex camping just outside. He's going to come in here and check and see what's in Titan's Trove. And then, I mean, straight book it over to Sarda, because Sarda is all but guaranteed, after all of the fetch quests, to hand over the floater. And it is quite the trek back, but once he finishes it up, he'll be in the air. ArsonHorse still has yet to do the ice cave, so the lead again for Tyerenex as soon as he hits the air is just going to continue to increase here.
We're in agreement that ArsonHorse feels behind based upon what it is that I see. What if you're Tyerenex on this one, Falconic? Because you're going to get the floater. He knows it's there. In the last place that he went,
it's the herb. We forgot about the herb. So the herb.
It's a chain.
I'm going to stop saying what's leading the floater, and I'm just going to sit back and enjoy. But if I'm Tyerenex right now, I'm feeling pretty good, because the game kind of handed me a couple levels early since I found Peds on Power Reset. My levels look good. I know I'm well past progressive XP scaling. Yeah, I think at this point, really all I'm hoping to do is start knocking out some fiends. Maybe go for the fire or the volcano first. Take out the fire fiend. Maybe check some of the chests there. I don't know that he needs to change anything, though. He's not in... He has no incentive to stop and grind anywhere.
Yeah, and when he's able to get in the air after he gets the floater from turning in the herb, he's going to class change first. Equip that Vorpal sword, the legendary Excalibur, and the Dragon Armor as well. That will solve his weapon issues.
Yeah, not to mention the fact that he's already sitting at level 13, level 14. So take the volcano. You're not going to get too many levels there, but should you choose to make your way through, I mean, we already know where the sea shrine is. That's a good place to get a few levels. You're almost guaranteed to hit around 24 on your knight as long as you're not running from too many fights. So you're going to get the extra swing on some of your swords there, especially if he finds the Maz Moon somewhere. And Tyerenex looks like he is sailing straight over to, I believe it was Onrak that was the location for Elfin. Was that correct? I believe it was.
No, the original Onrak is Gaia.
Is Gaia. So we are looking for Crescent Lake. Crescent Lake was Elfin, I believe. And it looks like Tyerenex is heading over to Crescent Lake as we speak. He's got the canoe. He's going to be able to fly right over to... ArsonHorse still trying to gain a little bit of momentum. That Marsh Cave was huge. He's already finished up Castle of Ordeals. That was also very wealthy for gear. Okay, Tyerenex though... Yeah, Tyerenex doing what Dangwu points out. We're not looking for Elfin, we're looking for Castle. Tyerenex made the mistake. I think he might have been trying to go around, but he's going to make his way down to Elfin Castle, turn in the herb. And man, if this doesn't give us the floater, I don't know what will.
It does. This will give us the floater as well. We're essentially out of items. There you go, Tyerenex. He's going to wake up the... Prince, maybe he needs to see a doctor or something, because he's been napping a lot lately, Falconic. I've woken him up countless number of times.
There it is. We finally, at the 47-minute mark, have our floater. Tyerenex has more than enough access to turn that in, get his airship, go class change, and Will, you said it, he's got the gear. So where to? After you class change, where do you go first?
I want Provoca. I'm going to the original Gaia, in the original Lefane if I have to. I want those level 2 spells, and I want the ribbon from Bicky.
Ribbon would not be bad. We've already got one, and more importantly, we have it on our Life 2 caster. Life 2, though, sitting at level 4, if I'm not mistaken, puts it just outside of the Knight. The Knight cannot learn Life 2 or level 4 slot. Cure 4, did we see if that was going to be one that was Red Wizard?
Yes. Yeah, Cure 4 is Red Wizard learnable. It's in slot 4, and Tyerenex is headed that way right now. No, he's not. Tyerenex is going for the class change. It's taking a long way, but that's okay. There you go, Tay. There you go. Meanwhile, ArsonHorse has made his way to the Ice Cave. He's gone through really the same progression in item checks and dungeon checks and trying to get in the air that Tyerenex did. Tyerenex has opened up a good, solid lead. We're going to see if we can figure out maybe a time difference. ArsonHorse is down to 1 red mage, and he's battling some undead. He knows the light 2 won't get it done, and he just resets, extending Tyerenex's lead just that little bit more. Little by little, Tyerenex starting to pull away from ArsonHorse as we near the 50-minute mark now. ArsonHorse jumps back in. He's looking to take the fight, and then he changes his mind and he runs. Doesn't want to take the birds. Meanwhile, Tyerenex has class changed. Beautiful looking sprites. I believe those are Final Fantasy III sprites. A couple of knights, a red wizard, and a black wizard for Tyerenex at this point in time. He's kept really all 4 of his light warriors standing for pretty much the entirety of the game at this point. It looked like the Wraiths had thunder, which was the problem. Spellzap confirming that in chat, thank you, as well as our tracker Dangwu. Could be a Medusa script type scenario, we're not quite sure. Tyerenex, while he's in the area, he's going to raid the Cardia Islands, digs out a soft potion, a couple bucks, and he's got a dragon in his way. A couple bucks, he's going to use the warp spell, he's going to take that and not reset. Jumping back in his airship. We'd also like to remind you that coming up tonight on Speed Gaming, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, the Super Metroid Prodigy Tournament. A whole bunch of players playing in that French Lightning, Amber 24, Mario Mayhem, a whole bunch of different things going on. That's going to be on Speed Gaming Prime. Speed Gaming 1 is sometimes what we call it. That's coming up 9 p.m. Eastern Time tonight. ArsonHorse is down to 1 red mage. He does not have life 2 charges? He's out. He's got 2 hits of it, but he doesn't have any... He can't use it. Look at him freeze, and he has to reset. Again, extending Tyerenex's lead by just a little bit. ArsonHorse is trying to adjust. He puts the Thor's Hammer on his top Spider.
So is that now 2 wipes here for ArsonHorse there? Now, you asked me earlier if I thought he was panicking, if something was going to throw him off or kind of get him off his game and rattle him. Yeah, I think he's rattled at this point.
Yeah, it's pretty evident in this play. I think it's grown just a little bit. And I don't know ArsonHorse that well, Falconic. You know, he doesn't play an absolute ton. He just comes into tournaments and starts wrecking things. Essentially was what ArsonHorse does. But I've never quite seen this before. We'll see how it is that he's able to react. Meanwhile, Tyerenex is headed to the original Gaia. Is this Provoca? It is.
So there's Provoca. Now, fingers are crossed. You're hoping that Nuke isn't level 8, right? Is Nuke level 8? It is level 2!
Oh, that's huge. Does that extend the lead even more a little bit? I gotta think.
It does, and at the same time, it kind of helps out ArsonHorse, right? Because if ArsonHorse can just get there, he's got the extra Nuke caster now. Now, what he can do with that, I'm not quite sure, because Tyerenex is just so far in the lead right now, and he's already going to have 2 Nuke casters, so having a third really doesn't tip the scales too much.
I've got to put this lead...
At least 15 minutes.
At minimum of 8 minutes, I would think.
Really? Okay, yeah.
More towards maybe the 10-minute area. And you know, there's the Mystic Key. It's not the ribbon.
It's not the ribbon. I think the ribbon's going to be hiding from Slab Translation.
The Slab Translation. Nice catch, Falconic. Yes. And that's a potential option because we know that Melmond and its level 5 magic as well as the Slab Translation is in the original Lefane. That could be skipped if our players want to.
You could. I mean, you certainly would. If you find a second ribbon loose, I don't think you're ever going to bother. I don't recall where we saw Wall. Maybe ETAP can help us out in chat. If you have Wall and it's Red Wizard learnable, then yeah, I don't even worry about it, even if I don't find the second ribbon.
Yeah, it was level 4 white magic, I believe, in the 4th slot, which is Red Wizard learnable, if I'm not mistaken. Meanwhile, Tyerenex has made the move that you thought he was going to do, Falconic. He's in the volcano. He's going to dig the armory.
So we'll see if he picks up a little bit of gear and weapons here.
Round 4 for ArsonHorse in the Ice Cave. His opponent, Tyerenex, never saw any of this. ArsonHorse is just getting throttled in the Ice Cave.
And sometimes that happens. I mean, it doesn't happen too often to where it's a bit unfair, but sometimes one player will see, ooh, Opal Armor, there's the gear for the other night. One player will see something really nasty, and the other one will come in afterwards and say, no, it was the easiest seat ever played.
I can't... That happens so many times when we play together at night, Falconic. It's unbelievable. Quadex from Tyerenex takes out a Grey Worm. He's going to raid this. That Opal Armor, you talked about it earlier on. Got Dragon Armor. There's a Masmoon. Add that to the mix. Excalibur, Vorpal. Is he ready?
He's good. He's good.
That was where we were going. He's really good now, I think, with that versatile Masmoon weapon. He's going to equip it.
No. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, this is what you don't do.
What are you doing?
The Vorpal does not belong in the hands of a Red Wizard. It just doesn't. It requires strength to wield it, and that's... Oh no, ArsonHorse wiped again. A third wipe for ArsonHorse has all but sealed this one. It's going to take a disaster from Tyerenex to allow ArsonHorse to catch back up here, because he is just chugging along.
You know, and kind of the point that I was trying to get to as we attempt to establish a generic time lead for Tyerenex at this point in time, it's extended now. I think we're looking at 12 to 14 minutes almost at minimum. That's about a Temple of Fiends Revisited dive. We've seen it happen before.
It's not over by any means. It could easily be caught up. If Topher ends up being a disaster or just really, really rough, then yeah, it's going to put a halt to Tyerenex's lead. But at the same time, he's making all the right moves. He really is taking the right battles. He's skipping the right chest. Look at him go. Not even checking the top left, because he knows there's just no reason to. Especially when he found that Opal Armor. That completes the second Knight's armor set. He found the Masmoon. He put it on the wrong character, and that's going to cost him...
It's a tickle of a blaze from an Enigma. He ain't going to be fighting any of those.
Agama's with Blaze. So no grinding here today. But we saw it, Will. We saw it just about a week ago. A runner threw away the Vorpal, and within 15 seconds, their ROM completely bit the dirt. Thunder Wraiths again!
This is round 7 for ArsonHorse in the Ice Cave. And he knows. He can't leave. He knows the crystal's there. He knows he has to do it. It's not like he can leave, which is good news. But he just gotta keep plugging away.
So you've got Blizzard, you've got Thunder, and Tyerenex never saw any of it.
And a partridge in a pear tree.
Mm-hmm.
There's the Thunder again from the Undead Wraiths. Round 8, we're gonna call it for ArsonHorse. ArsonHorse Ice Cave gets ambushed by wizards. Round 9 for ArsonHorse. Meanwhile, if you blinked, you missed it.
Mm-hmm.
Tyerenex has lit our first orb at the, we'll call it the 57-minute mark. The Fiend of Fire carry is gone.
57. What I like about that, though, is not only clear his first Fiend, but he is immediately ready to turn around and just go straight towards the next one. So
he's booking it.
Here he goes, right into Earth Cave.
Yep.
If he checks more than 5 chests here, I'd be surprised. So let's see if ArsonHorse gets a little bit more luck. Lit coming out, some darkness coming out. He's going to try to run. This is where having the lower health pool is really starting to kind of catch up with him. Even if Tyerenex did catch a Blizzard or a Thunder in there, the chances of him surviving it were just so much higher because he has those extra 4 or 5 levels. Get out of the way, Bat, says Tyerenex. One of the features from Alpha that is currently on the Alpha website, alpha.finalfantasyrandomizer.com, something called NPC Guillotine. Will, have you played around with that yet?
I have.
All right, so go ahead and tell them a little bit about what that's about, because I get the feeling that one's easily...
We're going to call it round 9 for ArsonHorse. He re-enters the Ice Cave. It's a war of attrition for ArsonHorse. We'll see how he plays with the encounter table, try to get better encounters. NPC Guillotine is something where, well, the Earth Cave, actually, where Tyerenex is right now, bats can get in your way, and NPCs can get in your way, and you can talk to them, and it's a new feature that our devs put in, where you can talk to them, listen to whatever it is they have to say, and then, poof, they're gone. And they will disappear and get out of your way.
Just like that. So any NPC in the game that has a single line of dialogue that doesn't say more than one thing, like a bat, like a dragon over in the Cardia Isle, talk to them, and they vanish. They're just gone. So we're looking to eventually test that out. There's a couple of bugs in it here, and that's kind of to be expected with Alpha. It turns out you can kind of talk to the loot plate 2,000 years in the past. You can talk to the rod block, and they just kind of disappear on you. So it's not quite ready for prime time. But Tyerenex certainly wishes that it was, because the bat got into his way, and as I'm talking, I think there was a blue thing.
Was there something in his way right there? I don't know what happened.
It was a smurf of something, I think. So ArsonHorse is attempt 10, 15, 20 into the Ice Cave. And the unfortunate thing here is that ArsonHorse is probably telling himself, calm down. What did you miss? Is there anywhere you can grind? It's been deadly in Ice Cave. You almost kind of tell yourself, you know what, it's fine. My opponent had to deal with the same thing. You're not as far back as you think you are, and unfortunately, that's not quite the case because Tyerenex never saw it.
Yeah, and I would be thinking that as well, exactly what you just said. And I would be thinking, well, hold on. This is a one-on-one match, and what if my opponent came here first? There's no way they got through.
No way. Yeah.
And I would be thinking that and, remain calm. Tyerenex using that nuke spell. There's the Thunder from the Wraiths again. They ambush ArsonHorse. He's leaving.
Now...
Levels. He's got to go get levels. It's a dozen times that he went in. I can't blame him.
Yeah, I don't blame him for leaving, but I do question why he reset. Yes, he lost his knight, but he was steps away from finding out what was in that chest, and he had plenty of warp charges to leave out. So maybe he just knew that the other Wraith was going to cast Thunder and wipe him anyways.
Let's go to the volcano.
You can't fault adjustments, though, Will.
I like the play. It's a dozen times enough. I've had it. I definitely get it. ArsonHorse actually did get to the chest. He does know the crystal is there, but he knows essentially the end game. He doesn't know the fetch quest that he's got to go through, but he knows that's exactly where it is he's got to go. He's going to go to the volcano. Meanwhile, Tyerenex just really starting to tear through this game. He's about to take on the Fiend of Earth. That's Lich.
Yep, you talked about it. We were just minutes ago, lighting our first orb. Said he was going to fly through here. You blink and you miss it just like Carrie. And Tyerenex now at the 1 hour, 2 minute mark has his second orb. And Wilktheosis, this just in. Breaking news. We have our introduction tonight after the match in the Final Fantasy 1 Randomizer Discord. We will be unveiling the Spring Tournament Grand Prize winner and what they're going to be receiving. And it's going to be a couple of my buds here chime in. They're going to be joining us in Final Fantasy to unveil what the winner is going to win, what the actual grand prize is going to be for this year's Spring Tournament, and you do not want to miss it. You thought that the, what was it, a Nintendo Classic last year?
It was. Donated by Ishbin Maya.
From Ishbin Maya, one of our greats around here. Just had to win. 2018 was a great year. 2019 is going to. So if you're around, if you're not part of the Final Fantasy 1 Discord, now would be the time to join it. If you are not yet entered into the tournament, I promise you, when you hear what we have to unveil, you're going to want to jump in and join us here. So April 4th, last day for signups. April 5th, we're going to be doing the reveal of the matches. April 6th, we are going to hit the ground running. But tonight, after the match, Final Fantasy 1 Discord, you are going to hear from two of my absolute best friends what we're going to be giving away for the tournament winner. Whoever is, I would say, the cream of the crop from the 2019 Spring Tournament will.
We're going to have some picks, some predictions. I remember last year, Falconic, I remember having one of the picks, and I came out and I said 3 or 4 different times, I said, based upon the training and the knowledge that I have and what it is that I've seen, I was able to pick the eventual champion, Edgeworth. Yep. And played really well. Had some turbulence. He had to get through me and you in the play-in race, but then he really picked it up and really gave us such a great show. And what a great champion he's been as the reigning champion for almost this last year now.
Yeah, and it really is nothing more than just hardcore practice. If you go over to Edgeworth's, literally in the past week, look at how many seeds he's running. It doesn't just come natural to him. There's a reason he's a champion. He puts in the work. So we've got just shy of 2 weeks left. Actually, a little over 2 weeks before the spring tournament begins. Get the practice in. Even if you're going to lose, I had the most fun time last year playing with people I had no idea who they were, but you meet them along the way. There's fun even in defeat. Get some practice in. Who knows? Maybe you'll be next year's or this year's ArsonHorse and fly through and make the way into the final 16.
Yeah. Matter of fact, we have a question from chat. BAMF, BAMF, is asking in what channel. Falconic actually just said it. It's going to be in the Final Fantasy Randomizer Discord. And, you know, if you can't quite find that, you know, what's the answer, Falconic? You know exactly where did we go when we decided we wanted to start playing Final Fantasy Randomizer.
So Final Fantasy Randomizer Discord, and then I would say that we're probably going to post it into the general channel. We also have a new player channel where, you know, a lot of people are hanging out and talking and spreading some information as far as what to do, where to go. But for the announcement tonight, it's going to be in the general channel, Will, and I get the feeling that I'm probably going to see you there.
Oh, I'll be there, definitely. Yes, also FinalFantasyRandomizer.com. Links are there, games are there, intricacies of the game, the What's New section, all the information right there at everyone's disposal. Certainly easy to remember as well. There's Stone Poison from the Red Hydras and ArsonHorse perishes again. Tyerenex never saw that either.
He never saw it, but at the same time, you got to say it's because he was prepared, and when he took some of these fights, he just kind of mowed right through them. Oh, this is unfortunate. It's a mixture of not being as prepared. I don't want to say he's underprepared. He's not as prepared as Tyerenex, but it's also just bad luck.
And one of the things that is actually happening here is, and hats off to Tyerenex, because he's playing one heck of a game. Mm-hmm. I mean, he is really showing us how it's done. He's about to try and light his third orb at the hour 6 minute mark. And that's
literally less
very
than 10 minutes ago, he lit his first one. And here he is going third.
And Tyerenex, and hats off to him, because he's on the tournament staff team. He helped in the development of this flag set, in timing. He's put in all this work and all this time behind the scenes that he doesn't. I mean, he doesn't promote that or anything like that. He loves the game. He loves the community, and he's played a lot more of this in playtest. And we've been doing this for a long time than ArsonHorse has. I had a conversation with ArsonHorse the other day. He played a couple of these games. So it is an advantage for Tyerenex on the right-hand side of your screen. He's really a little bit more prepared than his opponent tonight, and he's just really stomping through this.
Yeah, Tyerenex very, very well practiced. Again, like you said, put in a lot of work. Really, hats off, and want to give a huge shout-out to Tristal MTG, Tyerenex, Trenton GL, yourself, really putting in a lot of work. This is not something that was slapped together in the past week or two. This has been months in the making, trying to craft the perfect flags that are going to give the nuance from race to race to where you don't get too burnt out on it. You're going to see a lot of different variations. We talked about it earlier. Sometimes you're going to get the floater right away. You could still have your jet seeds if you find the ship floater. Sometimes you're going to have seeds like this where it's the last place you check that's going to give you the floater. So just very, very well crafted. And Tyerenex has just been on fire tonight, and it shows that he's been doing the practice.
ArsonHorse has left the volcano. He's going back to Elfland to get more spells. Try to heal up. Look at him checking up his menu, trying to find spell charges, trying to re-prepare himself. It's an on-the-fly routing decision. Is the panic over? He's definitely regrouping. That's for sure. Also, hats off to, and a big thank you to Moist Mogwai. Mama Duck was the one who made really the original design in disguise for the 2019 Spring Tournament. It was a duckling seed. It was a duckling design in our Discord that we all kind of played. We're all kind of having a good time playing with some of the new players. Dangwoo, you played that. He's tracking tonight. And we looked at it and we're like, this is interesting. And we explored it and we modified. That was back in December.
Oh, yeah.
So it's been a lot of work that we put into it, weighed a lot of different things, moved a few things around here and there, tweaking it, getting it. And this is what we've come up with. Sail the high seas.
So Tyerenex now makes his way back over to Onrak, which we know is Gaia, and I think he's doing the one thing that ArsonHorse would wish he would have forgotten about. Tyerenex was here earlier, did not buy the loot, even though he had the money. Dangwoo pointed it out. He left here without buying it, and it looks like he's going to pick it up, so there's not going to be any forgetting of the loot here today. He's already got the key. So Tyerenex, again, putting on a clinic of just how to navigate, how to get through a seed. He's 3 orbs up to none right now for ArsonHorse. Arson is still kind of spinning his wheels. Did a little bit of preparing, a little bit of shopping. I would have liked to have seen him take a few more levels along the way, because I think he's still going to run into some trouble here in the volcano. But I mean, it's Ice Cave, right? He just has to get the good turn order over in Ice Cave.
As far as items that our leader Tyerenex is missing, there's the Mazmoon, obviously, for ArsonHorse. He's gonna equip that. Power Gauntlet, no sign. White Shirt, no sign of that. Defense Sword, not quite yet. It seems as though Tyerenex, I'm assuming he's done the math. He knows that the slab translation turns into a ribbon. At this point in time, he has not gotten that, and he's still checking chests.
Yeah, this is a bit of a head scratcher. I can only think he's looking because there's not much else. Maybe a loose. Oh no, he's already found the opal bracelet. It's got to be ribbon.
Ribbon, Power Gauntlet, White Shirt, Defense Sword are really the only things that are left at this point in time. So Tyerenex, he's kind of sidetracking maybe just a little bit here.
A little bit.
Because he's been tearing through this.
I think White Shirt and Ribbon, because you're guaranteed to find Temper. Even if it's higher in levels, even if it's level 8. Scorch is going to take out that Black Mage, though. No, it doesn't. Leaves him down to 12.
It's been really the story of this match. Tyerenex just getting through, not seeing anything, and dominating.
If he dies, he's got life too, so it still wouldn't have been a disaster. Tyerenex is just so well prepared right now.
We got a question in chat from Wab. Wab, welcome back. It's been quite a while since we've seen you. What's new in this flag set is the question. Well, you're going to be seeing a lot of it. This is the design for the spring tournament, and the basis is a town shuffle and a free canal. It's called Sail the High Seas. Floater could really be anywhere, and we're going to have a blast.
So, Sail the High Seas. It's a pretty straightforward flag set, right? If you were to try to describe what's crazy about it, nothing's too kind of out of control. You got 3 incentivized locations. You've got the ribbon as being incentivized. I think what's really going to throw this one a little bit off kilter from what you saw last year is that free canal. Because that really opens up choices, and I think that's what makes the randomizer great, especially when you combine that with the town shuffle that we have. So the randomizer gets to throw a twist in there, and the runners get to throw a twist. Somebody may do the Marsh Cave early, somebody may take off towards the Outer Sea. We saw a little bit of that today, but there's just going to be so much variation, and I think that's going to be very, very important for a flag set that you're running 5 weeks in a row.
The vampires have Fire 3. Tyerenex is in such good shape that's not going to affect him too much. He loses Falk, his Black Wizard. We're going to keep that in mind for very late in the game on that air floor. We'll revisit that when it comes up. He does get an Ice Shield and a Black Shirt here in the first floor Mirage. Not quite what he was looking for, but he can equip that Black Shirt, and he also equipped the Ice Shield as well. So he added to his gear repertoire.
I mean, they're not bad. You would have preferred to find those earlier. But again, Tyerenex, though, if he knew, you got to think that he doesn't know how much of a lead he has. He's got to think that ArsonHorse is ArsonHorse, and he made all the right moves, so Tyerenex feels behind. So the question comes back to what it always is when do you feel comfortable? And with all the gear he has, I think Tyerenex at level 19 is comfortable, no?
You know what's happening here? ArsonHorse is fighting his Agmas. He's trying to get some levels, trying to get something going. He does not know they have Blaze.
That is...
There it is!
Yep.
Down goes the Red Mage.
So down goes the Red Mage. He does have a second with Life 2. All is well and good. And Tyerenex is going to take on a couple of Chimeras. ArsonHorse take on... Is he going to check the chests? He is. He's going to check the chest over here, the red D chest.
Yeah, ArsonHorse was able to check some chests that Tyerenex had skipped. I think he found an Ice Sword, and that was it. He did not find anything. He did not potentially dig something up that could be game-breaking later on that Tyerenex did decide to skip.
No, but to Arson's credit, not being class changed, the Ice Sword would have come in handy there. Is he gonna take on Carry?
Yeah.
He's healing up. I think he is. Does he have the firepower to take on Carry? He's got the Mazmoon.
Yeah, he's got the Mazmoon and he's got Fast. I would certainly feel comfortable taking this fight. I wouldn't quite see why not. He's got 4 Light Warriors.
Mm-hmm. So Tyerenex does check the greater than less than. Has not found much of anything just yet. I gotta imagine White Shirt and Ribbon could be about the only thing he's looking for. ArsonHorse rearranging the party, doing a little bit of a veteran.
Yep, puts the fighter at the bottom of the Mazmoon, puts the ribbon on the fighter, really protecting him.
But he didn't put the opal bracelet onto the fighter. He kept it on the Black Mage.
One fast shot left. He won't have a quad axe.
Carry does take off the top.
118.
He got the fast off the Will, and 586.
This is a matter of time now. ArsonHorse going to take out Carry. There's a big swing for the Mazmoon again. 539 isn't quite enough. Interesting.
So beefy Carry here today. One more swing from the Mazmoon should get this done. And I don't recall seeing Carry with anything too deadly, so it should be over here in just a second. And at the 1 hour 15 minute mark, just shy of 1 hour 15, ArsonHorse is going to get his first orb. Meanwhile, Tyerenex is powering through the Mirage Tower, is now in the floating fortress, and still continues to check chests.
You know, I don't think he's checking chests. You know what I think he's really doing?
Taunting?
Fishing for fights.
It could be. Yeah, that's a good point.
So?
This is a great place to take a couple fights along the way. 18 is great for where he's at, but he's one fiend away from going into TOFR. So, yeah, I could definitely see that. Here's a fight for XP.
There's a fight for you. It's 4 green Medusas. Meanwhile, ArsonHorse has lit his first orb. He's in much better shape than he was earlier. He's got a Mazmoon in hand. He's headed towards the dreaded Ice Cave for round 13.
You're being generous, sir. I think 15, 16 here. He just needs to get just keep the warp member alive. Even if you have to make the trek back to town with one character, you can save manipulate just fine. So hopefully he doesn't instantly reset as soon as somebody drops to a thunder or a blizzard.
Also coming up tonight right here on the Speed Gaming family of networks on Speed Gaming 3 at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, Ocarina of Time Randomizer. It's out. Speed Gaming's been showing a good amount of it. It's Asder against Glitchy, 10 p.m. Eastern Time right here on Speed Gaming.
Asder and Glitchy, two people I have no clue about, but I guarantee you I wouldn't want to face them in their... After the reveal in the Final Fantasy, maybe we'll swing by and check that out. I do also know that we're going to have a little bit of a Duckling Seed race between two members. Now, it's not going to be restreamed, but if I remember correctly, I think Asher and Dangwoo himself, is that correct? Are going to be racing the Duckling Seed this week. Later on tonight.
Question from chat, one fine day. Ice Cave happened to ArsonHorse. That's what happened. Thunder Wraiths, wasn't there a Blizzard somewhere too?
Blizzard as well, but really it's the Thunder Wraiths that are really doing them in.
Tyerenex never saw it. He just blazed through and has extended one heck of a lead. I think we might be nearing the 20-minute mark now at this point. It's a Bane Sword.
Yeah, it's...
White shirt.
White shirt. Huge, huge, huge pickup. Tyerenex, go. Just go, buddy. Finish your fights here, by all means, but he's got to feel comfortable at this point. Unfortunately, one fine day, what's happened is Arson has just found everything nasty. Now, you could say it's also because he didn't choose to pick up a few levels early. Tyerenex did, so when he made his way through here, he had better turn order. He had the health to withstand a couple things, but...
Speaking of everything, look at that. There's the stone poison. He gets two shots at all of his light warriors and one hits. One. That's been really the story of this match.
Just pure luck there. ArsonHorse, though, does finally dig out the crystal and could not warp out of here faster.
Yeah, ArsonHorse finishes it out. He gets the crystal at the 1 hour 18-minute mark.
So ArsonHorse is going to be able to turn in the crystal.
Get the ruby.
He's going to take the ruby. He's going to go...
Going to see Sarda.
Sarda's going to give him the herb. And the herb's going to give him the floater, and the floater's going to let him fly, and he's got the tail, he's got weapons for his promoted characters. Slowly but surely, he's going to start to kind of make up a little bit of the ground here, but, well, I don't know. It's even with a deadly Topher, I think we're starting to look at maybe 2 Topher dives are going to have to be just horrible for Arson to have a chance.
Things have gone so well for Tyerenex. If they continue on that path, I think Tyerenex does quite well. If he starts to hit a rough patch, maybe some turbulence, things could change. You can never count ArsonHorse out. We learned that last year. ArsonHorse knew, I don't really know much about him. You know what? And he took down Ice Blue. He took down the franchise. He beat Fuzzy Mage. He beat a whole bunch of people, and then everyone really took him seriously until he beat him. So he's not gonna quit.
He's definitely not going to give up. It could be one of those seeds, and I wouldn't blame him in the slightest. If Tyerenex has just the easiest of times in Topher and ends it on his first run, I think ArsonHorse probably forfeits. But I wouldn't say that that's anything negative against his character. ArsonHorse, one of the best out here. You're just seeing somebody who ran into just the worst luck that I think you could ever see. I don't know that... Did Tyerenex ever see Thunder at all? Did he ever see... Did he see anything like that?
If he did, we missed it and it didn't kill him. Which I doubt. Both.
Well, we'll find out here.
Blaze from Tiamat takes out the Black Wizard. Tyerenex fires a nuke into Tiamat, 156. There's a Masmoon. 7 hits, 430 damage. Great use of the Masmoon from Tyerenex. That's 4 about to be lit from Tyerenex at 1 hour 20 minutes.
So just like that, I think he lit that first orb was it just shy 57 minutes?
Yeah, it's like 58, I think.
58. So within 22 minutes, Tyerenex with his well-leveled and well-geared party.
You know what?
All 4 orbs lit.
Did you see him just check his menu?
I did.
You know, he looked at his levels.
And I don't think he's happy with them.
I don't think he's happy with them at all. He's going to get camping equipment. Do you go get the ribbon? Did he see the slab? He does not like his levels. I see it.
He doesn't like the levels here. I don't think he's going to make a just yet. But there are a couple places you can go to level. You could do the eye grind. Back in time, you could do Green Medusa. You could do Gas Dragons. There's a couple options on the table. What about danning your mages and just going and picking a fight like the eye grind? The fighters, why not do that?
What about just going to the Temple of Fiends Revisited and going for it? Okay, that could be what he's doing.
85 mode.
It is. It's the Buzzsaw mode. Is he going to take fights? We're going to find out. If he gets ambushed by chimeras, that's not the greatest sign right here.
So, but again, great XP.
He's taking the purple worm fight. Does he use resources? He does not. This tells me he's going for it. He's... yeah.
Maybe. I mean, he's going to fight the worms here. He may just be making his way over to the gas dragons and then warping out. Now he's starting to get up to level 21, 22. Maybe this is just a grind.
He's got dragon armor, opal armor, he's got an opal bracelet, Excalibur, Masmoon, Vorpal. He's got fast, he's got nuke at level 2. He's got all the tools. He's got one ribbon, he knows where another one is. One ribbon scares me. He's got the white shirt as well, and I do not believe he's got access to the Invis 2 spell as well. I don't think we ever saw that.
He doesn't. The white shirt's nice. Now, it's going to take several white shirt casts to build up that evasion here. But again, this could just be a dive just to see how easy it is. He, like we said earlier, he doesn't know that he's got such a huge lead, so it's just pure rush, rush, rush. Maybe he feels like, I'm just going to give it a shot. And if I get it, I get it. And if I don't, then I'll go somewhere.
ArsonHorse makes his way to Sarda. Picks up his herb. Just give me the floater, says ArsonHorse. Almost there, Arson. You'll have it before the 90-minute mark. Meanwhile, Tyerenex starts to dig deep. He's on the earth floor now of the Temple of Fiends Revisited.
So Tyerenex taking out some of the Green Medusas. Again, great XP. Maybe Tyrenex's idea here is to take the good XP fights along the way. Gain the levels as you go, like we talked about doing earlier. And then by the time he gets to some of the bigger bosses, he does have level 24. He's already 22 now. He can pick a couple of fights along the way here. Earth's not very good, but on the water floor, a couple good XP fights. Maybe he gets up to 24 for that extra swing of the Masmoon.
That would be certainly a good target level. Also, there's the Agamas and the Red Giants in the fire floor. The fire floor is pretty short, but he also knows that those Agamas have Blaze. Now, he's on the earth floor already. He's still got 90 heal potions, so I would think that he can use some of those. That could potentially be an option as well. As Tyerenex starts to close in on his first Fiend refight, it is Lich. After he's... ooh. He wants to take the Green Medusas, he is going to take them. 10 hits from them. Wow, 12 hits. Ooh. Couple of Poison Light Warriors for Tyerenex as he tries to make his way through. He might be regretting taking this fight. He's going to use some time. Those Light 2s are not going to kill those Green Medusas. Not at least one of them. Fire 3 will take him out, though. ArsonHorse has entered the Earth Cave. He's in search of lighting his second orb. He's being bat-blocked. He gets through. He's onto the rod floor with the vampire. As Tyerenex showing respect to Lich. He's starting to heal up. He's going to max HP for this fight. 220% max on the enemy scaling for these bosses. And he's going to bring out some firepower. There's Swirl. Lich gets initiative. Fire Swirl, non-elemental. Does some damage. Tyerenex fires back with a nuke after a strike from the Masmoon. Excuse me, after a strike from the Excalibur. There's a big Masmoon fasted for 500 damage. Lich has been dispelled.
Down goes Lich. A little bit of respect given. Lich seemed to be a little bit more beefy than I think they wanted to. He respected Lich, did burn through one of the fasts, but I think he has plenty to spare.
Flying through the fire floor. There's those Agamas with Blaze. He's going to pass on this. Our Giant with a big punch to Will, and then Blaze from an Agama. They get all the initiative, and the second Agama only punched. So that's good for Tyerenex. I didn't quite catch. Dengwu maybe, our tracker. Great job, by the way. Did he get Cure 4 in the Red Wizard?
I don't know if he did or not. That would be a huge misstep if he didn't, though. But Tyerenex, an hour and 25 minutes in, is now on carry 2. Elastoid, no, I don't think Ty was... I mean, yeah, he was lucky in that he sees some of the spells, but I would go as far as to argue that it's because he went into those areas a little bit more prepared and was able to burn through encounters before they had a chance to use them.
According to Dengwu, he got Cure 4 at least on the night.
Okay.
So that's good. There's a Nuke Blast from Tyerenex. Carry 2 has been eliminated. What floor is this, Falconic?
So this is everybody's favorite floor. The original game, this floor was one of the worst because the wonders are unrunnable, and they only serve to eat up all of your resources. You had to burn spell charges, you had to burn heal potions, you had to burn heals and cures. But when you shuffle the unrunnable formations, it's not as bad, but still not a floor anyone likes to see. Here's a great XP fight, and he's not taking it. That would have been one I probably would have taken.
Yeah, I missed the level. I'm trying to see it.
He's 22, so it wouldn't have gotten to 24. Maybe he knew it wasn't going to be enough anyways.
Spellzap also pointing out in chat that the Red Wizard does have Cure 4. Thank you, Spellzap, another recent graduated duckling. Tornado, again, initiative from the Fiends, and they're firing non-elemental stuff into Tyerenex. That's Tornado, and that put a pretty big dent into him. 3 hits for 188. There's a nuke, only 136. He resisted it. 313 from the Mazmoon. Round 2 for Tyerenex. Can he continue his dominance? There's the Cure 4. He passes on it. Fires a nuke instead. Resisted again for 116. But you can't resist the Mazmoon. After 7 hits, 480 damage. Kraken 2 is terminated.
So the Fiend that everyone loves to label the Gatekeeper, tonight, at least for Tyerenex, you can call him Mr. Lucky at this point. I think I'd be okay with that. Has no issue whatsoever just flying right through all 4 Light Warriors alive, is now pushing his way to Tiamat 2. Will, he is steps away from Chaos.
Does not run into the Vampires. The Vampires have Fire 3. He gets 2 encounters and gets away from the first one. Now he runs into some Sorcerers who can't hit worth anything. Steps away from the fight with Tiamat 2. He's taken some damage. He's taken, a swirl. He took a tornado. He took care of those fiends. Does Tiamat have anything? There's a Mazmoon strike with initiative. Oh no! Is this the equalizer? There's another one that's Inferno. Now that's Fire Elemental, so his ribbons, one ribbon's gonna help. But 4 hits, 4 damage is big trouble.
Will, why do we say to put the Vorpal in the Knight's hands?
That's why you do it. This is why you do it. There's a nuke from Tyerenex. He's got to be a little bit nervous. The first adversity felt at about the 90-minute mark for Tyerenex. There's a nuke. 240. Oh my gosh, it's good.
Low health.
Oh,
he got saved by low health, but that fight right there, you talk about the percentages for bosses really aren't even all that high tonight. But that's a fight where the Vorpal with the fast would have had no issue whatsoever.
Tyerenex gets away with 1. Runs into some unrunnable rock gulls. He's going to enter at the 90-minute mark the Chamber of Chaos.
So Tyerenex is taking out the rock goal there. He picked up level 23. I'm really starting to think now, if he would have taken that double Gray Shark and Odd Eye, or the Big Eye fight, could that have been enough to get him 24 for that extra swing on the Mazmoon?
Right now, that's the last thing Tyerenex is thinking about. He's past that. He's on to the Ultimate Fiend Chaos. We're going to call it the 90-minute mark. He has absolutely thrashed this entire seed. His preparation has been outstanding. He's got his Knight Will in the bottom with the Mazmoon, and he gets off a white shirt. He gets the initiative and is able to stack some evasion. Does he have the Mazmoon? 4 hits, 4 damage. Does he have that equipped? That's the Excalibur on the top. That's 4 hits for 71. Does he have that equipped?
He has to. I think he has it equipped on Will. Yeah, that's Mazmoon swinging to the top, and that's not going to do anything to Chaos.
No, it's Excalibur.
I'm sorry, Excalibur up top, not going to do anything to Chaos. Chaos leading off with fire, too. He did fast on Will. Yeah, Will has the Mazmoon.
He's got it. Okay.
And it's only doing 133 damage.
It's not critting. The damage is there, but it's not critting. He's got a lot of hits, though, that Mazmoon should be able to break through and get some crits as he gets off some more evasion. I think we just had a frame skip when he attacked with the Mazmoon earlier. 7 hits, 97 from the Excalibur. There's the Mazmoon. 7 hits, 7 damage? There's a nuke. The nuke hits.
You have no power bonk. This is, again, back-to-back fights where you want the Night Swing and the Vorpal.
Gets a nuke off. He gets good initiative. He gets 111. I don't know if Falconic's going to make it, his Black Wizard. 7 hits, 101. He's adjusting. He's starting to fast mono. He's trying to back it up because he knows he might be on the ropes a little bit. There's another white shirt. His evasion's creeping up. That's 4 stacks.
White shirt's good. He's good on evasion. The Excal's starting to swing a little bit harder than
No, it's not. 8 hits, 8 damage, but the Mazmoon breaks through. 8 hits, 230. A nuke, 152.
52. Is he going to end it here? Is Chaos going to throw out a curve? Maybe a Cure 4? ArsonHorse needs there to be a...
That Black Wizard's pretty much useless. 8 hits, 192 from the Mazmoon, but Chaos physically attacks and misses. The evasion is working for Tyerenex. He's getting free rounds and free shots. 5 hits for 114. Tyerenex is keeping closer to try to win this match. Excalibur, 6 hits, 6 damage. Mazmoon, 6 hits, 187. Chip damage from Thor's hammer, and he's starting to heal. Great adjustment from Tyerenex into his battle against Chaos.
He's got another nuke. He's going to do Cure 4. He's getting a Black Mage up, though.
Mazmoon, 8 hits, 200. No. There's the Cure 4. Chaos just keeps attacking and missing. 7 hits, 130. Tyerenex getting the advantage on Chaos now. Mazmoon again for the win. 217 isn't enough. Fire 3 for 40. Chaos is just meleeing.
231 from the Vorpal, even in the hands of a red.
Wow.
Imagine if it were in the Knight's hands, this fight would be over.
It would be. There's Will and the Mazmoon. 6 hits, only 108. That's not enough.
It's not.
Fire 3, 25.
He's got to be so close to finishing here.
His evasion is stacked. Tyerenex is starting to really pound Chaos now. Chaos, all he does is attack, apparently. That's all he's got. Excalibur for the win. No, 7 damage. There's a Lightning 2 spell. Fire 3. 26. Does the Mazmoon do it? 101 is not enough. How about the Vorpal? 5 hits, 131. The Vorpal takes it home for Tyerenex.
The Vorpal in the hands of a red wizard. We talked about it being a bad play, and I still agree that it was the bad play. You should have had that in the Knight's hand. But he got the Invis 2 off with the white shirt. He got himself ready to where Chaos couldn't land a hit. Chaos did not have anything deadly in the way of spells or skills, started chipping away with the Fire 3s, the nukes, and then eventually started swinging the right sword, and the Vorpal brings it home, Will.
I thought that was a great adjustment from Tyerenex.
Huge.
He saw the Excalibur, he saw the Mazmoon, and he looked at it and he's like, okay, well, hold on now. He probably didn't expect to do it, used the fast on mono, wielding the Game Changer. That's why we call it the Game Changer right there. Look at what it did. And
it
made
the game.
Great play.
All around, though, just from start to finish, I can't think of a single thing that Tyerenex did that tripped him up. A phenomenal showing of how well these seeds or these flags can be ran.
That's an official SRL time for Tyerenex, our winner tonight, right here on Speed Gaming 2. 1 hour, 33 minutes flat. And we talked about it during the show. Preparation. Mm-hmm. He had it. Even though when he went to the ice cave last, hold on, did my opponent go there? I don't know. Didn't matter. Tyerenex just blew through it. He assessed the situation. He knew what it was that he had. He went directly out to get the class change, went to find Provoka, found the nuke, knew exactly what he wanted to do, and he came up with a plan.
Speaking of Tyerenex, the man, the myth, the legend has joined us.
How's it going?
It's going pretty good. I got to imagine it's going pretty well. Flew through that seed. How'd you feel about it?
Felt pretty good. I think I took a bit of a gamble not going to Ice Cave early because I think I had Warp at the time, so I was thinking about going to Ice Cave before doing like the waterfall and ordeals, but then I decided that I wanted to check out what Onrak was, so I decided to go there.
Tell him, Falconic.
Well, I can tell you right now, your decision paid off in spades because by the time you did it, you had levels. Just a little something called Blizzard and thunder that wiped Arson at least 9 times.
Where?
Just had, Ice Cave was a disaster for ArsonHorse. And then after Ice Cave, he decided, enough is not trying to dig this out anymore. He also had warp. He just couldn't get there. He split, went to Volcano, ran into a couple of enemies there that decided to wipe him. He took several wipes in Volcano, and the entire time you just kept flying through. Absolutely flew through. I think your decision, we called it earlier, you did it just outside Crescent Lake. You found the Peds. Is that something you planned on doing right away, or did you just happen to see they were there and take advantage?
Yeah, I saw. Well, when I saved in that town, I did a power cycle, and it was the first enemy I ran into, and I was like, okay, might as well just hang out here.
Tyerenex, it's Will. GG's, congratulations.
What's up, buddy?
Hey, quick question. You really, whether you know this or not, flew through this match and this seed very impressively. The only time where I saw you downshift a little bit was where you checked all of Mirage and then you did a whole ton of the Floating Fortress. What was the plan there, and what made you kind of downshift and do that? What were you looking for? What were you doing?
Just levels. I knew that I was pretty sure I had like the EXP bonus, so I just knew I wanted to get to the low 20s. I think I was around 15 or 16 when I entered Mirage, so I knew I had to take some fights in there.
Speaking of levels, I had one quick question for you there. You had, as soon as you got to Chaos's floor, you had just taken a fight that got you to level 23 across the board. We saw that you ran from a very, very XP friendly fight on the water floor. Did you think about taking that?
Yeah, I wanted to get to 24. I thought I could get to 24 on the way down, but I don't know. I kind of brain farted that. Another reason why I was digging out Mirage is I didn't have the defense sword or the white shirt or Indus 2. So I was kind of hoping to find it, and then I ended up finding the white shirt. I usually like having one of those things for the last boss.
Tyerenex, can you tell us about your adjustment on Chaos when you fasted the Red Wizard?
Well, he had the Vorpal, and the other two guys weren't hitting for much unless they crit, so I decided to put a fast on the Red Wizard and see how it did. I mean, that Chaos fight felt like it took...
It definitely dragged on. Will and I, of course, we're part of the Game Changers. We're always going to kind of advertise the Vorpal there. You ran into a Tiamat that had pretty good absorb. You ran into a Chaos that had pretty good absorb. Was there any part of you that thought that maybe the Mazmoon was better than made Vorpal in Hands of a Knight?
What I should have done is I should have put the Vorpal into one of the two knights and just left the Excalibur, not use that.
Yeah, especially against the Chaos.
That would have been better, yeah. I mean, that would have been a better choice.
So, what do you think about... You were part of last year's spring tournament. You and I think, kind of became friends kind of in our matches throughout the first couple of weeks there. Those flags last year versus the flags that we're playing this year, do you like them a little bit better? I know you're really huge in kind of designing the flags and coming up with the different rule sets. How is this going to compare to last year's? Do you think it's a little bit more friendly? Is it more difficult?
I think it's more difficult because it really... Triple mages, especially if you get the bad towns early, it's certainly rough if Provoca is Gaia and Elfland is Lefane, then you're screwed until you can get out of the continent and all that. So I think that's kind of the reason. Actually, what I did was right before the match, I sent a message to Edgeworth and I was like, do you like double fighter or do you like going triple mage here? And he told me he likes double fighter, so I decided to try it out.
I believe Will and I, we talked about that as well. One of the points we saw when we saw the two of you lined up with your party members, had Provoca or Elfland been early and favorable with like a level 2 nuke like you saw, level 3 Fade, which unfortunately you guys were locked out of, if something like that rolls early, mages look a lot more attractive, but it wasn't the case here. You did the double fighter and it really, really paid off. You found the Vorpal, you found Asmoon, you found Opal Armor, Dragon Armor. Again, I can't think of a seed where I've seen somebody just utterly dominate it like you did here tonight, especially countering that with Arson and all the adversity he found there. It was just something to see. It was very, very, very well played on your part.
Thank you. I really like the free canal because it opens up. I mean, if we didn't have free canal there, you know, it does kind of in the last year's Swiss seeds, a lot of times you would have to make like really risky ice cave dives at like level 8 or 9 or something like that. Mm-hmm. And you know, a lot of matches just died for people like just hoping to get that like perfect encounter to get down to the ice, you know, get down to the floater and stuff like that. So I think with like this canal, it opens up I mean, it ended up having to be the ice cave this time around, but it could have just as easily been in ordeals or something like that, and it would have been nice.
Yeah, I think that canal definitely opens up the game for sure, and it's going to provide a lot of route variations, as Will would point out from time to time.
Yeah, you know, and kind of the term that I look at it is complex. Mm-hmm. I don't think this design is difficult. I do think it's a little bit more difficult than last year's. No question about that. But I see a lot of complexity in this. I see a lot of skill that you're going to need, a lot of decisions that you're going to need to make based upon the equipment that you have, based upon the party member that you have forced, the party member that you cannot have, spells that are available, towns that are available, because you're not going to be handed, much like in this match. Tyerenex never saw Nuke contained at level 2 until he could get the airship, and that was locked to him, you know, for quite a while. And it takes a lot of thinking, planning, and strategy to move forward and progress in this game, which I think Tyerenex really showed the speed gaming fans and certainly all the Final Fantasy Randomizer fans that are going to be watching this tournament and enjoying it, how it's done tonight.
I think Thief is really, really viable also, because especially if you get a seed where there's not very good early magic and stuff like that, you might have to do like a ton of running to get down to like the items that you need. So, I mean, I think something like Fighter, Thief, Red Mage, Black Mage would have worked really well here.
ArsonHorse digging through the Sea Shrine, attempting to light his third orb. No sign of the Power Gauntlet from either player or the Defense Sword. Something that Tyerenex was certainly looking for as well. He settled on the white shirt, and I think that having that white shirt might have saved him, Falconic, from in that chaos fight.
Yeah, it certainly did. I think we were saying mid-fight that maybe we knew the Vorpal's on that Red Wizard, and we knew that he could have fasted the Red Wizard and started swinging a little bit more. We were questioning, did he need all those white shirts? But I think if you put yourself in Tyerenex's shoes, obviously, you want to leave no doubt that Chaos isn't just going to reach out and crit you and just take out that Volt Builder. So a little bit of caution on his part. Played it beautifully. Finished the fight with all 4 Light Warriors. You can't ask for anything more than that. Only thing I would change about your run is that you've got to step up your Vorpal game, son.
Yeah, I knew that too. Like, I knew that when I was in the Chaos fight, I was like, they're going to roast me for not having this on one of the nights. And honestly, I should have. I mean, it makes more sense for one of the knights to have it over the Excalibur for the last 2 Fiend fights.
Mm-hmm. I got another question, Tyerenex. We discussed it when you entered the Temple of Fiends Revisited. We questioned the levels. We definitely didn't question the equipment. That was very strong, well above average. You only had 1 ribbon, equipment-wise, though. Did you know when put the pieces together that the slab translation and turn-in would lead to a 2nd ribbon?
No, I didn't think about that at all. That does make sense. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. I kind of forgot about the slab. I don't think I ever went to Melman to check what they had for magic or anything like that.
No, actually, your opponent ArsonHorse has not either, from what it is that I've seen. I don't think he has as well. It's a pretty strong magic seed up front once you could get to it.
Yeah, and That does make sense. I mean, one ribbon kind of felt fine. I mean, I'm usually okay with one if I have like multiple life casters, and you know, one will get you through most of the time. But you know, you want more, of course. I honestly had forgotten that ribbons were incentivized.
Hey, that's why
I guess I just
practice.
didn't think that. Yeah, I guess I didn't think of what was left. I just knew that the loot was for sale, and when I finally found the key from Provoca, I was like, okay, I'm good to go now.
Once again, the 2019 Spring Tournament starts April 6th. It's a Saturday, coming up about 2 weeks here in 2019. Whether you're watching us live right here on Twitch or later on, maybe where I started over on YouTube, where Speed Gaming uploads all these replays, what we call VODs as well. We know we've got a great contingent over there. I certainly watch a lot of them as well when I go to review something, or perhaps study an opponent, which I've been known to do, kind of something very... Remember that, Falconic? Yeah.
I do.
And that'll be coming up as well. Sign-ups close April 4th. Anyone can sign up. We got Gouda. Gouda is a name that you're going to see coming up in the spring tournament that you've never seen, never been featured, never been shown. Brand new to the Discord, certainly not new to the game. Signed up and says, I want to play, and we couldn't support that anymore. You too, if you can hear this voice, you can play as well. Just like Falconic, you said you did that last year. You joined the community just days before that tournament. It's open to anybody. We can do that, and that's what it is that we're going to do starting in about 2 weeks. This is a preview of it. 2 great players. We've got a whole bunch of signups recently as well, and that's where we're going right now with Final Fantasy Randomizer. Sail the High Seas 2019 Spring Tournament. Speaking of the Spring Tournament, Falconic, it just came in during this match. Something's going on a little bit later in the Discord.
During this match, the news came in. We have grand prize reveal for the winner, the one player that can be the cream of the crop from all of our participants here. We're going to reveal tonight what the grand prize is for winning. Last year we had an NES Classic donated from Ikman Maya. Fantastic prize, but of course we had to one-up it here. And I'm telling you, you do not want to miss out on it. Gonna want to enter. If you have not yet entered, now's the time to do so. You still have about 2 weeks to practice. You said it yourself, I said it, I joined last year just days before with very little practice. Still had a great time. Did I make the brackets? No, did not make the brackets. I got stomped. It was painful, but it was fun, and I've made a lot of friends along the way. Created challenge seeds along the way. We're actually looking to hand that off as well. So join the tournament. What's the worst that's going to happen? Even if you go 0-5, even if you do, who cares, right? So you don't get the grand prize. You're going to want the grand prize, but it'll get you into the community. You're going to make plenty of weekly content that we do. Duckling seeds to get you started that are catered just to the new people. Lots of advice being passed out. Will, I know you're always in the new player help room helping people out, answering questions. There's 1,000 of us ready to do so. But if you do join, and if you do become this year's ArsonHorse and you pull off the win, tonight we will be revealing what it's going to be from 2 of my absolute best buds in the world. You're not going to want to miss that.
Yeah, I think when I joined, I think my 4th ever race was the first round of the tournament. I only had a handful of practice races, and then I think my first ever match was against Shailesia, and I beat him. And I didn't make the brackets either. I think I went 2 and 3. But yeah, I mean, it was a lot of fun, and still around.
Yeah, and that's interesting because I have the same story, Tyerenex. I believe it was my 4th ever match, was in the spring tournament, round 1. And I think we all remember that match. It's one of the more memorable ones. It's one of the most watched on YouTube. Thank you, Death Touch Tiamat took out our leader, Zardia, to put B into the lead, and I would never look back to win that. I think my heart is still pumping from that great match, and certainly just the honor of playing Zardia is enough of itself. And Falconic, we had this conversation about 2 weeks ago when me and you were talking, and the way I look at it is, and we kind of agreed upon, if you're thinking about playing at all, do it.
Just
because what's going to happen if you don't?
You're
know what's going to happen. You're going to regret it. Yeah.
You're going to regret it like crazy because you're going to watch some of the matches. And you never know, right? ArsonHorse had no idea when he was well. Will, you gave me a nickname last year. Do you remember what the nickname was?
You were the upstart.
The upstart, because I came right off the bat and won 2 games back to back, and things were feeling great. And then, I ran into Ice Blue, who ended up facing Edgeworth in the finals, but you just never know. But one thing you do know is it's going to be fun. It's fun having your name up in the big bright lights here, ArsonHorse versus Tyerenex. It could be ArsonHorse versus you. It could be Will Cleosis calling your match here live on SG1 or Randomania. It's just fun to get your name out there, to meet new people, so guaranteed to have fun. Maybe you win, maybe you lose. That really doesn't matter, but you're going to regret it.
Yeah, and I think that's a classic example of what Falconic just said of, it's not about the destination. It's about the journey. Speaking of journey, ArsonHorse running through the Bridge of Destiny, runs into some metal slimes. No quite sign of Warmech tonight. We're probably going to put him away. Maybe we'll see him coming up, because we got a match coming up. The Midnight Special.
Oh, tell me about that Midnight Special.
Midnight Special was put together. It was an idea that myself and one of our developers, Cat Doctor, had. It was back in October. We did a great show. It was Demon Frog against Will Bloodworth. It was back in October, and we had so much fun. And the reason we call it the Midnight Special is that's when we started it, but not at midnight and a normal Eastern time zone sort of thing, which is kind of the norm. We started at 3 a.m. Eastern time, which was the Midnight Special for the West Coast type Pacific time zone players. We're doing that again. We're doing that this weekend in just a couple days. Let me get an exact day. I believe it's going to be tomorrow night / Saturday night, the 22nd of February into Saturday morning, the 23rd. More details, obviously, as usual, are going to be in our Discord. And should we release the player names? Falconic, what do you think? Should we tease? Or should we wait?
Well, why don't you give one now?
How about the former Duckling, now leadership galore in the Final Fantasy Randomizer Discord, Shadowwalker227 is going to be involved. I'll be on the call with Cat Doctor again. We're going to relive the magic that we had in the Midnight Special coming up. Same sort of thing, Spring Tournament Exhibition. The only requirements are that you're joined in the Spring Tournament. We had a plethora to choose from, and a whole bunch of players tried to sign up for it. They all want to play and be part of the Midnight Special, but Shadowwalker227 will be one of the players.
Looking forward to that. Also looking forward to seeing ArsonHorse here on your... Has 4 orbs lit, is going to make the dive into Topher, and I do believe has better levels than Tyerenex had going in here. Tyerenex, you were level 19 across the board, is that correct, or were you a little higher?
I was a little higher. I think
Right.
I was about 21 when I could be wrong.
So ArsonHorse going to do a little bit of shopping here. Will special probably won't be awake to see it because I'm one of the Central Coasts. So unless you're doing it on a weekend, and if you are, maybe I... Cure 4 is being purchased now. ArsonHorse remembers where his spells are. No Life 2 for the Knights, but he's got 2 red wizards. So Life 2 times 2, and he is still preparing. Look at him go. Not quite ready to enter TOF. He is going to turn in the
Let's get
slab.
that ribbon.
Yeah, he's going to pick up the ribbon here. It's a good pickup, although I don't recall seeing... I mean, the only things we saw in TOFR was non-elemental spells, so that ribbon not really going to come in handy. Dangwu points out, though, that there is there no white shirt? Did he not pick up the white shirt?
He does not have it. That makes me really nervous for that Chaos fight. Chaos was swinging at air at Tyerenex because he had all the evasion, but he was swinging at him.
So, really, in all serious, all jokes aside, I truly hope ArsonHorse puts the Vorpal on that night, because the Excalibur is not going to do anything to Chaos, right? We already saw that the Mazmoon, even with Fast, didn't do that well against Chaos. It didn't do anything against Tiamat either. If ArsonHorse can put the Vorpal on the night, throw the Sunsword, whatever, your red wizards aren't really going to be swinging anyways. Put the Vorpal on that night, maybe he's got a chance here, but that Chaos hits pretty hard. he has no way to stack evasion here. He just needs to outgun Chaos, and you're not going to do that, at least on this seed, with a Mazmoon or with an Excalibur. Zardia points out in chat, he does have nukes galore, but, I mean, we saw that Tyerenex, that Chaos was beefy.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I wasn't hitting for that much, but it certainly felt like it was like a 15-round Chaos fight or something like that.
I mean, it dragged on.
He didn't really, I don't know how hard he was going to hit, because he never really hit me, but as far as spells, he only had like Lightning 2 and just some other dumb stuff.
Will Cleosis, Speed Gaming, partnering here with us for the spring tournament. Just, it can't say enough good things about them. Definitely appreciate them for allowing us to give this exhibition match for the 2019 spring tournament flags that we're going to be running. Dangwoo as our tracker, one of the up-and-comings. I think he's the next upstart. I'm going to have to hand that nickname over, I think.
You know what? There's a couple of them. Spellzap can play this game. Gregglypuff can play this game. Cheesinator
has me.
Yeah.
Greg as well. Asher. Oh, Asher's another.
Asher was the one I was going to say.
I don't want to see
Muse.
any part of Asher. Braxis Muse is also very, very good at... the Ducklings are taking over, I think. And again, for anyone that's watching this, if this is your very first time watching, we're about to start the spring tournament. Sign-ups are live. I'm telling you, we can't stress enough, you want to join. Even if you don't join, though, join the Discord. Start playing the randomizer. Just get a feel for it. We've got an entire section of the Discord dedicated to you, to people like you that have never played this before, or have played the original 1,000 times but never touched the randomizer. It spans all experience ranges. Join us, have fun, make some friends, and then maybe next year join. Maybe you join in the fall.
Yeah, and you know what? That's we just talked about Gregglypuff. That's how Gregglypuff got started. He was playing the original game, and Lord Fizzlebeef found him, started talking to him. Next thing you know, we might get matched up against him. You never know.
That's right. I wasn't there for it, but I heard the story secondhand. Gregglypuff playing Final Fantasy 1 on Twitch. Fizzlebeef swings by and is like, "Hey, have you ever heard about the randomizer?" "No, I've never heard about the randomizer." "Oh, it's really fun. It changes this and this." And I believe Greggly said his first words were, "I can't do that." No. Fast forward a couple months later, and now Gregglypuff is one of the favorites for the Ducklings to make it in the bracket.
ArsonHorse fires that plenty of nuke that he's got into Carry. Carry physically attacks Arson, but I don't think Carry's going to be standing much longer. And it'll be onto the water floor for ArsonHorse as we near the 2-hour mark. And in our practice, Tyerenex, we have, myself and you have had a lot to do with this spring tournament. We didn't really see times in our testing that you did tonight at 1:33. That's why it was so impressive. We're mostly seeing 1:44, 1:46 as pretty much an average.
Yeah, we're seeing ranges. The average is skewing a little bit more towards 1:45 but on the ranges we're seeing, it can be anywhere as quickly a minute 33, which was blazing fast. Several things have to go your way, and they did for Tyerenex tonight. He didn't see some of the enemies that cast like Thunder or Blizzard. Your 2 loose items were found almost immediately, I think within 20 minutes, Will.
Yeah.
No hunting whatsoever. So you're talking about the fastest this seed can be? You're looking at about 1:33. Maybe a little faster if the floater's early.
Yeah, I've seen a couple hour 22s. My record is 1:16, actually, in playtesting. And that was everything handed. Nuke at level 1, and a good old jet seed, if we put it in that sort of terminology from last year. And I haven't seen anything faster than that, but I know that that's what I've had. But
yeah, if you get the ship and the floater from King and Princess right away, you can immediately take your boat through the free canal and go get your airship. So yeah, it could definitely be very, very fast. But if the 2 loose are spread out and they're in hard to reach places, this very same flag set could easily put yourself closer to 2.5 hours. Case in point.
Yeah.
Case in point real quick. This week's challenge seed is based off of it's these flags exactly. Nothing changed whatsoever, and we're not seeing times anywhere close to sub 2.
ArsonHorse is on the same encounter table that Tyerenex was when he went through, it looks like. There's those back-to-back encounters, with the second one being the Sorcerers just before Tiamat 2. We know Tiamat 2 has really low health, but she could be a problem because she's got that evasion and that absorb as well. She's also got ice too. That's good. ArsonHorse is going to go to another round after he fasts his knight.
And I'm not liking what I see here. He's got Mazmoon on the knight, and I get it, right? 80% of you out there love the Mazmoon.
Oh.
It's a great sword. Down goes the Black Wizard.
Okay.
This is a fight for the Vorpal.
7 hits, 223. Arson with those nukes. There's a 136 that got resisted. He's fasting. He's fasting the Red Wizard. That's Cure 4.
Cure
That's
4,
not bad, though.
she
got low health. That's okay.
That's fine.
There's the Vorpal. 2 hits. 2 hits. I'm not sure quite what it did, but it at least got the 2 hits.
Did we not get fast on the Vorpal user?
I think we got it off. There's 5 hits. There's another nuke from ArsonHorse. 155 gets resisted again. There's the Vorpal from the... Oh, 5 hits! The Vorpal takes out Tiamat 2.
And again, you're looking at that and you go, well, the Vorpal didn't do that much damage. Right, the Vorpal needs to be in the hands of somebody that can actually bring it. Now, Will, why is the Vorpal such a crucial weapon? What's so good about the Vorpal?
The Vorpal, we call it the game changer for a reason. It's got a crit rate that is astronomical. It's best in the game. It gets the job done. It's beautiful. It's beautiful in its execution of a Final Fiend.
So when you're
he
dealing...
put it on the knight.
Go ahead.
No, he just switched it over to the knight.
And that's a beautiful switch here. When you're dealing with an enemy or a boss that has high absorb, the way that you're going to get through that absorb is through crits. What better way to do that than to put the highest crit weapon in your best character's hands? So you're going to see here, Tyerenex did not move it over. His Chaos fight took 15 rounds. ArsonHorse doesn't have the white shirt, but he's got the Vorpal in the Knight's hands. Can he output the damage to Chaos faster than Chaos can put it out to him?
Me or you, Falconic? You want it?
Go for it, buddy.
Ice 2 right out the gate from Chaos. Gets the initiative. ArsonHorse gets the fast off. That's what he really wanted from his Black Wizard in the sacrificial position at the top. 6 hits from the Vorpal, starts to make dents into Chaos. We know Chaos has got some HP. We definitely know it's over 3,000. We think it's a little bit less than 4,000. Somewhere in that area. ArsonHorse starting to fire off a heal. He gets another fast off on a Red Wizard that has the Mazmoon. There's 7 hits, 223. Here comes the Vorpal. 6 hits, 200 damage. ArsonHorse is already having a better time than his opponent Tyerenex did. There's Fire 2 from Chaos. We think Lightning 2 is after this. ArsonHorse going back through his spells, trying to adjust. There's a Vorpal swing from the Knight. 5 hits. Another 200 damage. There's the Lightning 2. We don't know what's after this. We're going to find out potentially, though. There's another heal from ArsonHorse, playing this really well. Strike from the Mazmoon. 7 hits, only 90 damage from the Mazmoon wielding Red Wizard. Another strike from the Mazmoon. 7 for 83. Here comes the Vorpal. 5 hits, a $187. How about a nuke from ArsonHorse? Chaos fights back and knocks out Leo. He's down to 3 light warriors. Another strike from the Mazmoon. 7 hits, 7 damage.
There it is.
Tyerenex saw this. Ooh, Chaos strikes. That's not having that white shirt. He's got Cure 4s. He's going to start to use it. Oh, no. Okay.
No.
He lost his Mazmoon wielder to back-to-back shots, and the Cure 4 got wasted. He's down to 2 warriors now. Chaos starting to pick apart ArsonHorse. There's stop, and it lands.
But he recovers.
But the Red Wizard got up. 3 hits, only 70 damage. Chaos trying to fight back. ArsonHorse must stand his ground against this fiend. 42 damage from Fire 3, and he's down to the Vorpal wielder. It's ArsonHorse and his Vorpal against Chaos. 2 on the strike. 139 after 4 hits. No, Chaos fights back for 134. Chaos fires Rub. ArsonHorse says, not today. 5 hits from the Vorpal isn't enough. Chaos strikes again for a $164. ArsonHorse says, no, I'm fighting back for 201. ArsonHorse goes to the Cure 4, but it's too late. Chaos takes out ArsonHorse.
He was queuing up the Cure 4. He knew just too much. And unfortunately, I think with that, yep, ArsonHorse has decided to forfeit. But you have to give the man credit. Down 3 orbs. Tyerenex finished at 133. I mean, kudos to him for sticking it out, though. For trying to make it through.
He had the right design. He definitely did. He had it, but the difference here was the evasion. And he went for the Cure 4. He played it right. He did not get the turn order.
Didn't get the turn order. Had a bunch of bad luck early, but man, that white shirt would have swayed the tide of battle, I think. I like the fact that he had 2 characters fasted. He had the Vorpal in the Knight's Hands. He had the Red Wizard fasted with the Mazmoon. He was getting off 2 characters doing 2, 3, 400 damage per swing.
Yeah, it was really the same strategy that Tyerenex used, and ArsonHorse was actually able to adjust a little bit faster in that fight, realizing the type of opponent that Chaos wanted to be in this match as well. Speaking of ArsonHorse, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
It's well, GG's. Thank you for coming out tonight.
Yeah, it was an experience. There's a board that needs some drawing to happen onto it.
The Ice Cave. The Ice Cave experience. Frustrating, blizzarding, thundering. What went through your mind?
Floater's got to be somewhere, and Floater did end up being required, if I'm correct, right? You needed one of the items anyway?
Yep.
Yeah, you had to have the key from Provoca, which was got.
Yep.
Vicky, yeah.
And Nuke was there too, so pretty good Provoca, huh? Yeah, I just key item there. Gotta do it. Got the 2 in chests early, so I didn't even know what to expect. You know, part of me is just like, my luck can't be that bad 25 times in a row, can it? And it was, and probably should have left about 10 or 15 minutes earlier and just done Volcano first floor at least. But no, I don't regret the decision to go to Ice Cave when I did. I had Warp and should have been a quick and out, but it was not, and that's how it goes sometimes.
Yeah, we can tell you as well, your opponent did not see any of that. Tyerenex walked right through and just blazed right through. He warped out, much like you did afterwards, and you just couldn't quite get down there. What do you do in a situation like that? We've all been through it. You know, do you leave to the volcano, which you eventually did? Do you try to soft reset? Do you try to manipulate the encounter table? What's your play?
I stopped hard resetting, and I was like, this can't keep going so bad, and I can't keep having such bad luck with the runs and the casts and everything. I got to be able to, like, the Fire 3 can thin the pack a little bit, and, like, I can get through it. Like, I was just like, it can't be that bad all the time, even though everything is, like, transpiring against me. And there's that one time, I almost had it, but it's like, well, I don't have enough warp charges because my Black Mage died. And it's like, I got to run 1 floor, so I decided to run the first one because it's the shortest compared to the other 2. And I just did not get out.
What was the enemies that I ended up doing Ice Cave after Ordeals, Waterfall. I did Ice Cave pretty late in my.
Yeah, I did Ice Cave. I was thinking like I could have gone to Waterfall, but higher level monsters there in general. I didn't grind a whole lot early either, so I'm just like stick to lower level areas. But the Wraiths and the Images, I think the Images had Blizzard and the Wraiths had Thunder. And the Wraiths were not shy. And they had over 150 hit points, so it was tough to kill them. I only had a couple Fire 3s at that point, because gold was pretty tight early for me. So...
Arson, we talked about, myself and Falconic talked about during the match, you're not a player that either of us really certainly wants to run into. It's a big compliment to you and certainly your skill and definitely your success as well. I know that you're still a little bit newer to the flag set. We were talking when you were doing the practice the other day, obviously. What do you think about the design for the 2019 tournament?
I think the Town Shuffle is a good wrinkle to throw in without making stuff go absolutely ape like some other flag sets that could be thrown in. I think the scaling is better. I like how the bosses are slightly higher than the regular enemies. And what about that carry HP for carry 1 was like 1200. Like that had to be close to max. But I think it's fun without being too wild compared to what you might expect. I'd expect there's a little more variance in the time for seeds as well, depending on where that floater lands ultimately, because you could have seeds where floaters not even required, I think.
Yeah, we have definitely had a few. We expect to see that coming up sometime soon. We've had seeds. We had one last week where the canoe wasn't required. So how often you see that is certainly not very often at all. We'd like to remind you fans of the bonus stream. It comes up after the tournament, but that is something that is so looked forward to by the fans and the community itself, and it's for you. It's for the fans. Polls are out there for the bonus stream. First year we did 4 thieves. That's what the fans wanted. We did that. The next year, 4 white mages. Those 2 classes are excluded. We're down to 4 classes. Black belt, fighter, red mage, or black mage. Get your votes out there. Links are in the chat, also in the Discord as well. For what it is that you want to see, those polls are open as well.
Do you remember what the runner-up was last year, Will?
In the bonus stream?
Mm-hmm.
The champion. Edgeworth.
No. I'm sorry. The runner-up for the class that was chosen for the 4 run. It was
I do not
Thief,
remember.
And then it was White Mage, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken,
Black belt?
I think it was Black Belt.
I think it was, yeah.
4 Black Belts was just shy of making it to the bonus stream. So maybe this will be the tournament where we actually see 4 Black Belts. And wouldn't it be just beautiful if we also introduced a no Dan rule?
Yeah. And that's going to be one that I think myself and yourself might be in voice chat in the Final Fantasy Randomizer Discord, enjoying a beverage or 2, maybe a little popcorn, hanging up with, the Moist Mogwais, the Deng Woos if they don't beat us and make it to the finals, the Danny 3883s hanging out, and I think we might just sit back and enjoy that one.
How could you enforce a Dan condition, though? Say you have to kill Chaos with all 4 of them alive or something?
Oh, just
Like,
no
how
Danning it. Just like we do the challenge, where if somebody dies, they die, but you're not allowed to grind while they're dead, and you must either continue your dungeon and go res out of the dungeon and go res them. You're just not allowed to take levels while they're dead.
Interesting.
We've got ways around it, trust me.
Oh, honor system.
Oh, yeah. And, I mean, you'll be on stream, so you can't...
The honor is strong. Honor is strong.
ArsonHorse, I want to go back to you real quick. I had a quick question. You were taking a couple of Agama fights during this match, and then you ran into Blaze. Were you looking to take more at that point in
No,
time?
I wanted to get around 13 or 14 because I was pretty slim on the levels. And I was like, Blaze, well, the timing is good. I got to about where I wanted to, and now we're going. So I'm just lucky I didn't run into that thunder on the carry, I think.
Yep.
We're going to wrap things up right here on Speed Gaming 2. We'd like to remind you that coming up in just really a few minutes, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, right here, Speed Gaming 2, Super Metroid Prodigy Tournament. It's Dark Kaiser against 8 Bits is Great. I'm going to check that one out after the match. We're certainly going to all get together and see how the show went tonight. So let's go ahead and start with our final thoughts. Our winner tonight, Tyerenex. Final thoughts on this match, the tournament, what you had for lunch?
It was a good match. I think a lot of these matches are kind of going to come down to the order that things are chosen to be done. And I bet when I watch this back, it's going to be like, oh, I had more levels and more Fire 3s when I went to the Ice Cave, and that's how I got, threatening probably some luck as well. I think there's going to be, I think in the last tournament, there was definitely a route you had to go. I mean, you had to go A, B, C to each spot. And I think there's going to be a lot more decisions that are going to have to be made, but none of them are going to be. I think if you have the choice to go to like Ice, Ordeals, or Waterfall, one of those 3 is going to be the right choice, and I don't know if there's going to be a real good way to figure out which is the right choice, so that's going to be interesting.
The OD, the original Duckling. ArsonHorse, final thoughts.
Thanks for commenting. Thanks to Speed Gaming. GG Tyerenex was a interestingly fun seed in a way, and thanks to the viewers in the community, and can't wait for the tournament.
ArsonHorse definitely putting on a show. We appreciate you trying your best to make it through Chaos there. Just fell, unfortunately, just a little bit short. Tyerenex, an absolute clinic on how to run this flag set here. We definitely appreciate you guys joining us here on SG2 Speed Gaming. Thank you so much for hosting us. Dangwoo for the last second tracking, stepping up to really help out here. Will, I think we saw a little bit about what to expect here. Tyerenex touched on it just moments ago about the variations you're going to see in the flag set, the choices the runners are going to have to make. It's going to make each individual steed a little bit more unique so that throughout the course of the 5 weeks of Swiss, you don't get so burnt out. Because I doubt you're going to see the same seed twice. Definitely want to thank you guys for watching us, for joining us here. Stay tuned. Within, it's looking about within an hour, the grand prize reveal is going to be, it's going to be on display in the FF1 Discord. If you have not yet joined, time to do so. The links are in chat as we speak. You've got 2 weeks left before the spring tournament starts. I promise you, Will, you can back me up on this. You are going to regret if you don't join. Whether you've played it or not, we have plenty of resources to get you caught up to speed. Now's the time to do it. Join it. I promise you, you're going to enjoy it. Will, I think that just about does it for me. So go ahead and wrap us up. Take us home.
Yeah, the 2019 spring tournament, we're going to see a lot of divergence and then convergence. It's going to be complex. It's going to be fun. It's going to be tiring. It's going to be ArsonHorse ice cavey from time to time. Could be waterfally. We don't quite know. But what we do know is it's going to be an absolute blast. We call it the main event of Final Fantasy Randomizer. It is the spring tournament coming up. Once again, that it begins April 6th. Signups close April 4th. That's coming up just about 2 weeks' time. What a blast, Falconic. We finally got back together, the Game Changers. My name is Wookleosis. I was joined by the Enforcer, Falconic FF. An absolute honor to work with you. An honor to work with Dengwu and the Feasels, the Mr. Broadstones, Oasis, and everybody right here at Speed Gaming to bring our product and our great show to you, the fans. Falconic FF, Dengwu, and the entire Final Fantasy Randomizer community, thank you for bringing us into your homes. Stay tuned, as in just a few minutes, Super Metroid Prodigy Tournament 2019, Dark Kaiser and 8-Bits Are Great, coming up right here on Speed Gaming 2. Join us for the Midnight Special coming up just about 24 hours or so from now. It's going to be right here on the Speed Gaming family of networks. Shadowwalker 227 will take on a mystery opponent, a very beefy mystery opponent. Thank you, everyone, for joining us.
Good night.
Team Vorpal.
Godspeed and Team Vorpal.